What is up? What is up? What is up? What is up? Hope everybody's doing good out here. Appreciate everybody's coming through for the night. Pushed it back a little bit because I didn't want to step on the toes of the great Dr. Tia San Johnson. But I had to go ahead and put this out because this is what you guys voted for. Having to talk about hobbies and why they are important. So let's just go off of our first off of saying that appreciate artist and MC Charles Faulkner showing up. Probably gonna have some more people show up whenever the case may be. But let's go ahead and talk about hobbies real quick. Hobbies are important. Hobbies are one of those things that keep you grounded and make sure that you have something to do when you get off work. And it's always important to have an outlet from your day to day, something that keeps you calm, something that you enjoy doing, something that is not destructive to you, that you can constantly do. Now, I have a lot of hobbies. I have a lot of freaking hobbies. I like to draw. I play video games. I collect comic books. I'm now starting into getting in collecting statues. I like to work out. I'm getting into model building with Gundams now. Learning different techniques, watching videos about that, editing videos, pictures. Now that I got a camera, I'm starting to get into the hobby of photography, learning more about that and how I can improve videos, how to improve on my videos. Like I've learned and got so many hobbies. It's hard for me to actually try to keep up with the things that I like because I'm so into a whole bunch of other stuff. I'm into animation. I'm into learning about animation, how it works, learning from the greats. Because some of them have YouTube channels. I'm like looking at pencil tests and try to see, okay, is that a 1 frame, 2 frame? I have so many hobbies, and it's good. It's fun, and that's what hobbies are supposed to be. They're supposed to be fun. Anything that you do that brings you peace, you should have fun doing it. You really should. You should have fun. You should have fun learning about it. In the next couple of weeks, maybe a month, I'm probably gonna be learning about metal making, learning how to there's a shop right next down the street from me, I think, that does you can go in and make knives. I'm gonna probably go up there, see how much it costs, and go learn how to make some knives and stuff like that. So I know I have a whole bunch of hobbies, but a hobby can be anything that you want it to be, as long as it brings you peace, as long as it brings you joy. And that's the most important thing, because life is already filled with so much stress and dealing with people's bullshit that you have to deal with, that when it comes time to just relax, that's when you do your hobbies, and it takes you away from the stress of life. It takes you away from, you know, just having a bad day. Sometimes you can have a bad fucking day, and you just start doing your hobbies, and then your day will be that much better. It'd be that much fucking better. And that's what it's supposed to be about. That's why it's important, because it is that stress reliever that you should have. Truly is. I mean, even right now, I'm excited about Street Fighter 6. Everybody in my group, in my area, is excited about it. So hopefully we'll revitalize the FGC in my area, because it's been kind of dead lately. Also, too, coming up, I'm also going to try to my hand at some new editing techniques, because I found some new stuff from DaVinci Resolve that's going to help me bring out more of my editing prowess. And that's the stuff that I like doing. And like I said, I'm not just here to talk about me. I mean, you guys can come up too if you feel like it, and talk about your hobbies and how much they bring you peace, because that's the important thing. You should have peace in your life. And whatever brings you peace, that is the great equalizer in your hard day today. And like I said, hobbies are fun, man. I'm having a blast going to my comic shop and talk to the guys there about all this stuff, the stuff that I enjoy. And I have a blast talking to my art group that I talk with, because I went to a Black Comic Con a couple weeks ago, and I got into this group, and I'm just having fun talking with these guys, and um, learning from them, and learning the process. Some of these guys got Netflix, possible Netflix deals on the table, where they're actually making money with their hobby, just grinding it out. And I like shit like that. I like seeing people doing their hobbies and actually making money from it. I mean, this is like the only time that I guess you could say where you can actually just record yourself doing your hobbies, and you can make money from it. Like, literally, I've seen a guy actually just build Gundams. He would just build Gundams, and it's not nothing fancy, nothing super edited. It's just a time lapse of him building a Gundam. He has a camera overhead, and he just doing it. You literally got Twitch channels where you got people playing Magic, and I got camera setups to where they can actually see them just playing Magic and going through the game, because the shit's fun, and it's entertaining. Anything that entertains you and it's fun, people want to be a part of it. And this is one of the reasons why I want to share my hobbies with other people. Like, I'm looking for like a Wednesday night drink and draw where everybody comes in, where we drink a couple beers, we draw, we have fun, we laugh. That's why I like the FGC in my area when it was popping, because I like video games, especially like fighting games, and I like talking shit, having fun, this, that, and the third, because it's enjoyable. It really is. It really is enjoyable, and that's what it brings to me. And so, like I said, I'm not gonna hog it up. I'm pretty sure it's probably gonna be about 30, 40 minutes at best, this video, because it's pretty self-explanatory what hobbies are. They're a stress reliever. And if you don't have that, then basically, I don't really consider watching TV stress relief, because I know people who do just watch TV all day, and I'm just like, there's got to be something more out of your life that you want to do besides just watch TV all day. Like, I've always been a person that always wants to have my hands on something and make something and do something, whether it's cooking, whatever, making something, fixing something. Like I like working on my car. I guess you could consider that a hobby. Just like working on cars. I like building stuff. I want to get into woodworking. I got too many interests. That's my problem. I have way too many freaking interests at this point that I can't keep up. But just sit there, you come home from work and you just watch TV all day. It's like, yeah, I guess you could consider that a hobby, but I'm into more so about doing something, moving, creating, sculpting, things of that nature. That's the thing that I want to do as far as like during my leisure time. Learning, always continuously learning about something that I can actually use in my day-to-day life. If I'm learning about welding, if I want to make little sculptures, guess what? I could take that knowledge and put into a muffler shop and weld mufflers, and then you can go into competitions where you can weld stuff as artistic pieces. Because there is an art forms for that. There are art forms where you could do sculptures, or you see people whittling wooden canes and selling them at your flea market and stuff like that. Stuff that you like to do that you can turn into money. And that's one of the things that I'm going to try to do before I pass away. My goal, I have two major goals that I want to set up for myself with my artistic ability that I have and my love for animation. I want to do a graphic novel, and I want to do a animated series on YouTube. Those are my two major goals that I want to do before I turn 50. So I know the graphic novel will be a lot easier than animation. Animation is gonna be a lot of freaking work, but I can do it. It just depends on how I want the animation style that I want for this small show. Probably more like 6 episodes. That's about it. But those are the two things I want to turn my hobby into something a little bit more creative. Right now, I do photo shoots for people. Like my homeboy, he's a rap artist, so I'm trying to get him set up so that way he has some music videos. My brother, he does stuff on the side with his camera stuff, so he's been helping me out with that a lot. I've got, like I said, I'm going to learn how to use to make knives, because I got interested in that because of Artisan MC. He was talking about I think that show's called Fire Forge or something like that, and how they would like make the knives and stuff, and I think they would make knives first, and then they would go home and make a swords, and they would have to cut the apples and the ropes and stuff like that. So I got into that, and I said, Dad, that'd be cool enough to do. So guess what? I found a place for me to do that. And doing stuff like that always brings me happiness. Forge and fire, yeah. Forge and fire. Thank you, Artisan. Yeah, I'm gonna make me a knife. I'm gonna put a Damascus blade on it. That shit was interesting as fuck. So I was like, damn, that'd be nice to do. Make your own little design for your knife. Probably put like a little hook to it. So I already made some designs, sketched them out. So I probably will. I will say. I'll say probably next month I'll probably go by there and try to figure out how much it will cost. I'm pretty sure it's not gonna cost that much. And then once I figure out the price, then I'll go ahead and spend the money and go ahead and make a knife and I'll post it up. He said if it looks good, make two, and I'll buy the other one. All right, bet. I'll let you know when I do it, and then when I do it, I'll send you pictures, and then you can get the one you want. But yeah, that's the stuff that I like. I love doing that shit. I love making shit. I love working on shit. Because when I was a kid, I had an erector set. And every kid had Legos and all that stuff. But now I wanted the hard shit. I had an erector, I had a Connect set. I had the stuff that you had to like screw in and build, and I had designs in my head as a child already implanted in my head, so I didn't have to like make notes. I already knew what it was because I had it in my hand. I took it apart and I built it. And when I built it, I knew exactly how I built it. So every time I wanted to make that same thing again, I already knew what it was. So I just like, okay, this goes here, and that and that's one of the things that I wish probably my parents would have paid more attention on with me with, because I was the kid that always just try to take the remote control apart and look at the insides. I would always take the gaming systems apart, the controllers apart, try to fix them. And I wish they would probably should have paid more attention to me doing that, because that was the stuff I was into as far as like figuring stuff out and seeing how things work and like that. I probably should have been like a mechanic, an engineer, or something like that, because that's the stuff that I like. And that doesn't feel like work to me. That just it's just fun learning how things work, figuring things out, being a freaking um into how things work, how things move, how things like how does that work? Let me take this apart. Let me see how. Okay, there's like little rubber things under the button, so that must be the rubber contacts that hits this and this, that, and the third, da da da. That's basically what I was as a kid. Because trust and believe, my parents did not like that shit. My parents did not like. I was taking apart everything. I was like, what this does? It's like, no, do not take that apart. You're gonna fuck it up. Sometimes I did, sometimes I didn't. But hindsight's 2020 as always. But whenever I see kids like that, I always make sure to tell the parents, hey, you might need to watch out for that, because not in a bad way, but in a good way, because you can need to cultivate that within that child. Because if his hobby is trying to figure out how things work, utilize that so that way he can actually do that for a living. Whether, like I said, whereas he just be a base level mechanic and he loves his job, because I'll be honest with you, it's hard to find good mechanics out here that actually love what they do. Trust and believe, man. I went through so many mechanics, and these guys are just like, whatever. I don't care. I will never trust a backyard mechanic. I had one that was horrible. He almost destroyed my fucking car with a timing belt issue, until I just had to get him away from. Boy, I had to get that. Oh, I wanted to fuck that dude up. Anyway, but understanding why the hobbies are important is because they can actually make you money in the long term. And this is what I tell every adult who has kids and the kids are doing certain things. Try to analyze what are your kids are into, so that way, what are their hobbies? Because you can get them to focus their hobbies to something that's more career oriented for them. Because a lot of people who have hobbies, like I said, you can't turn that, especially now, into money. If you're a painter, you can set up a Twitch account, or you can just record yourself painting and just put out a video once a week. And guess what? You can make money from it. If you're a gamer, you got Twitch. Um, just be entertaining as fuck. That's the only problem. I got a homeboy right now who's he has the charisma, he has the skill to play the game. He's just lazy with it. And I told him, it's like, you don't like doing this. You don't like the entertaining part of just playing the game, which is fine. But yeah, but I told him that the way you're going about it mentally is completely wrong. Because he thinks, because he is one of the best third strike players out here. He is one of the best third strike players out here. But the simple fact of the matter is that he has I wouldn't say it's ego. I would say it's a misguided representation of who he is at this point in time, and that's what's hurting him. And so that's one reason why he hasn't streamed in a while. And it's sad because he was actually good at it, but he doesn't have the drive, and that's one of the major things that you really do need to have when you're doing your things. You need to have fucking drive when you're doing it. Now I know not everybody wants to take their hobbies and make money. That's fine. That is completely fine. If you don't want to make money from your hobbies, that's good. You have every right to do that. But just know that the option is there. You have to come in there with the right mindset. Because you come in there with the right mindset, it's not going to feel like work. Whenever you have a job that does not feel like work and you get to do what you love, that in itself is good. That's a good life. No matter what you're doing. Whether it's you're a pizza maker at a pizza restaurant and all you like to do is make pizzas. And you can't wait to come in to make pizzas because that's what you like doing. Hey, you are way more richer than a guy that's working at Wall Street, stressed out every fucking day, hoping he still has a job the next day. Because life is meant to be enjoyed. It is. It is meant to be enjoyed. And so with your hobbies, enjoy them. Cherish them while you can still do them. Some people get to the age where they can't even enjoy their hobbies anymore because of arthritis and all the other stuff. So they just sit back and watch other people do it. So while you have the ability to do it, go ahead and make time for it. Take 30 minutes out your day to read a book, to draw, paint, sculpt, carve, skateboard, whatever you have to do. Yeah, I need a bigger place too, but it's not just for my hobby. Well, I guess you could say hobbies. My figure collecting. I just got 2 new figures in today. I got a My Sharanui and a Metal Slug figure. And then Artisan, you should like this one. I got the Sam Wilson Captain America hot toy on layaway right now. I already paid half of it off. I'll pay the next half off and probably next month. So I got the Sam Wilson Captain America hot toy. So I got the Winter Soldier one from the TV show, and I got the Sam Wilson hot toy. So, I also got a Transformers. What was it? What was it? Transformers RC. Yeah, I got the Transformers RC 30 figure. That's coming out at the end of the year. So I already got that pre-ordered. So forget Sam. I want to see the My figure. Oh, the My Sharanui. I got it. I'll take some pictures of it. Actually, that's another thing too. What I'm gonna start doing too, because with my video photography, what I'm gonna do, is I'm gonna start making videos and pictures and of all the statues that I got. Because I mean, I bought all these statues, right? So why not have a black backdrop? So that way I can go ahead and do like little unboxings and do like a little what do they call those videos? Little artistic videos of showing them off. The name skips me at the moment. Of just showing them off in like a little sequence. The video's probably not gonna be anything more than like probably like 7 minutes showing the figure off, talking about it, what I like about the character and something like that. But yeah, I actually might build a backdrop, and because I need all the materials. It ain't gonna take long to get the materials. So I'll probably have that done by this weekend. Just Jules says my hobbies are a mixed bag. Cycling, reading take up most of my time. Studying isn't a hobby, but it is useful. I used to brew beer, but that's cumbersome. I think I used to know somebody used to brew beer in their bathtub or make some type of. Well, I've seen somebody do that. I don't know if I knew somebody or seen somebody do that. I don't know. My memory is kind of fading me right now because it's getting late. But people do brew beer. I mean, what makes it so cumbersome about it? I mean, you can come out here and talk about it if you want. Cause that's another thing too. It's fun talking about each other's hobbies. To be honest with you, talking about each other's hobbies is always a good thing because you get to express the way how you love your stuff that you do. I don't cycle, but I understand reading. Reading takes up a lot of my time too. Because I just got from the comic shop today, and that's another thing I said because Artisan knows. I got like I do a lot of comic book collecting. More so than the Artisan would probably be like, man, this motherfucker right here. I pretty much Artisan. I pretty much spent today. Let's see how much I spent today. I spent 120. All right, hold on. Let's see. It was one. I spent $250 today at the comic book shop. Yeah, I spent $250 at the comic book shop today. and I'm going back next week. Cause I got my comic books. I got some old school Silver Age books. I got two Silver Age books of I got one of Adam Warlock, and I got one Spider-Man, his first time fighting Moon Knight. Um, I got a foil variant for the Batman last week. Uh, I got two. I picked up two issues of Black Panther and one. One was a variant that was like $14. They gave it to me for 12. And then just my regular books. It wasn't a big week this week. Then I got my Metal Slug figure. I paid for the and I put some money down for my Sam Wilson. So yeah, about $250. I spent about $250 just today in comic books. Fucking killing me, man. But the thing about it is, I enjoy it. I enjoy the stuff that I get. I'll enjoy organizing it. I actually have to go back into my storage and make sure that everything is only up and up with the books that I do have there. Because I have to. What I want to do is I want to buy these plastic bins, so that way when I do put them in storage. Right now they're in those little paper bins. I don't like those being in storage. So what I want to do is I want to get these hard PVC plastic bins for comic books and keep those in storage. So because they'll be better protected in there, just in case, let's say, if there's a flood, and they'll protect my comic books a little bit better. So I want to buy some of those. Those are gonna make more money, but it'll be worth it. They're for the investment that I'm investing in these books. So I don't have none of my high dollar books in storage, which I probably do need to put, but I feel safer with them here inside the house. Now, like I said, I'm into art. I've always been into art. That's one of the things I went to school for. Down here in Raleigh, I went to this bullshit ass 3D animation school that I went to. That it was good for me. I'll say this: it was bullshit for the amount of money I spent and the amount of knowledge that these teachers had. It was good because it exposed me to a lot of the industry standards as far as like the programs, um, the industry itself, and I made, I will say, two, about two or three good friends at that school. That's about it. That, but like I said, what it taught me is like how to use these programs, the process, and I'm grateful for that. Now I've already paid off the debt to that school, so I don't have to worry about that no more. But because of that, I was able to um, find my love for animation, because I realized that at that point that I did not like 3D animation like that, because 3D animation, I guess you could say, if you ever watch puppeteering, like what is it called, Flushing Away, like the old school Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I know I'm showing my age, but whatever. Those little Christmas shows that had like the little puppeteering. It seems to me that 3D is the evolution of what puppeteering is. I mean, puppeteering has its own aesthetic quality to it, but I think, in my personal opinion, when it comes to 3D animation, that's the next level. It's a evolved form of it. That's what it felt like to me. So that's why I went back to start doing stuff 2D. I started getting into more of the 2D masters and stuff. I know Artisan. I taught an Artisan show about this about I am, where I'm following LaShawn Thomas. I used to follow LaShawn Thomas a lot because I figured out who he was back in 2009. Um, when I think he first started working on World Girl. That was if you guys remember that. I don't know if you guys remember Undercover Brother and all those 2D Flash animations. He had World Girl. He actually worked on that show, and from then on, he worked on Kim Possible, and then he made a giant leap and moved to Korea because that's where we're sending all our animations to. And he had his whole video documentary of him in Korea learning basically the traditional way of doing animation, the keyframes and stuff like that. And that's the stuff, like I said, I was into. And of course, you guys now know that they animated Yasuke. He had another anime called Cannon Busters that he created. I think I told Arson this. He has a TED Talk now, and so all these great guys. I think Don Bluff is actually coming into my area next month, so I'm gonna have to actually go there and make sure I meet him. He's coming at a con in Raleigh. I think it's Galaxy Con. He'll be here. So I'm definitely gonna be spending some money to make sure I meet that guy because American Tail was one of my favorite. A lot of his cartoons back in the 80s and early 90s was really good. The mid 90s, I'm not too sure about, but I think his last great hit to me was Anastasia. So I can't wait to go see him next month. What's up, fellas? I am Jules, Artificial MC.
What's up?
Talking about hobbies.
Oh, you know me.
Yeah.
Mr. Handsome God himself.
There you go.
Yeah, woodworking is one that I used to do because I used to do like wood shop stuff and I loved it. And I got really good at figuring that out. And I used to love doing the garden stuff with my grandmother. One of the things that I want to do, because I got pretty good at it, is building like efficient gardening and farming systems. If I could have like a backyard farm that was like a quarter acre, half acre, I think that'd be so that I could get something out of it. Like I like the utility of it, but I also like being able to do something that's, productive and I can see and feel myself doing it too.
Yeah, I got a friend in Mississippi. Um, he has a whole aquaponics gardening system in his backyard. It's pretty cool. He grows everything from vegetables to weed or whatever he wants.
Yeah.
He said vegetables to weed. That just covered the gambit, right?
Hey, I mean, he does his thing, man.
Herbs and vegetables. He grows herbs and vegetables.
Hey,
You'd be
it's
surprised how
impressive.
good you can get, man. Because you
It
can
is.
drop all your nutrients and soil stuff right in the undercarriage, and then it'll just soak right through, and you'll see the plants come back to life in like a day or two.
Yeah, so I think just a couple months ago he had to like take off the topsoil and stuff like that. So he just showed me his whole system. I was like, wow, okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of like me, man. He's got to stay busy doing something. He's always tinkering with something, and that's what I do. I always tinker.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, it is.
It gives you like because like something like reading. I'm a pretty big reader, but at a certain point that becomes kind of passive. And I mean, you can get a lot of information, and obviously I do read some soil books. Well, not regularly. I'm not sitting there with like 15 books about soil and stuff, but I do like to get like certain articles and stuff like that to get stuff that I can be better at what I'm doing. So it gives you like a little more insight as like, how do I get better at this?
Mhm.
But it's still not, it's like a lot of people just don't like reading. Um, but yeah, gardening is a good one. Cycling is one, it's a heavy investment up front. It's worth it on the back end, but then you got to get like you got to start stretching differently,
Oh yeah, I know. You better stretch.
Yeah,
Fuck
yeah,
something up.
Be hurt.
yeah. Yeah, you wind up with like quads that look like rocks packed in the front of your pants. But it's fun. I'll tell you, the longest ride I ever did was 150 miles over the course of a weekend. I rode from one city to the next, and it was a beast. But it was really fun. One of my friends came along with me.
Yeah, they have a competition like that down here where the guys will ride Highway 1 from San Francisco down to Santa Cruz and to Monterey just on their bikes. And I have a couple of friends that have done that ride. I was like, this motherfuckers is crazy. You spent 3 days on a bike? I was like, I like riding too, but that was a stretch. That was like pushing the limits for me. But they do it. They love it. And my one coworker, he rides every morning. He rides to work every morning. So his calves are like boulders.
Yep.
And he
That is one of the
moves at a
benefits,
speed
man.
that you would think he was a computer program. I mean, just his normal walking speed is just like ridiculous.
Yeah. You wind up just getting like really into it after a certain point.
Yeah, you get that.
And your body just picks up to a point where you just can't stop.
Oh, you build yourself up, man. Shit.
But yeah, you were talking about the comic books. Do you have a good shop? Does it do like tabletop games, or is it just like small bookshop?
This shop doesn't do tabletop games. I know some shops that do. I know one shop in particular that has like a tabletop area. They do all that stuff, and I also know a place that you can do. It's pretty much like a geek a place where you can do the tabletop games and you can drink at the same time and order food. What was good about it was like on one side they did tabletop games and the other side was just like video gaming.
Okay.
And so you had like two sets. So you had gaming geeks over here. You had your board game geeks over here, and you just order food and drink beer. They had a good beer selection. It was amazing.
Ooh, that'd be nice.
They had something like that here, but it was near the UC Berkeley campus. It was called Eudaimonium, and it did computer gaming and tabletop gaming in the same place. Right. So there were food places around. You could order beer and stuff like that, but the shop, I would have eventually tried to go for that if I could, because it would have been something that we didn't have that you need when you gaming. You always need snacks and food when you're gaming.
Yeah.
Even when we gamed in the shop, we have a liquor store right next to us, right on the corner. So everybody would just go over to the liquor store, then come back over, and then we just in there, playing Magic or whatever, or D&D or whatever. And especially after hours, like shit, get it flowing.
Exactly.
I mean,
flowing, dude. It's after hours. Let's get it.
I always wonder if because I know there's a good crossover between like beer nerds and like comic book / tabletop nerds, but I don't know how if that would fully work, because there's a lot of people who want
it depends on the age group. Like millennial geeks are into beer crafting, right?
Yeah.
And beer crafting, if you find RPG gamers, they'll get into that crafting shit ridiculously, right?
Yeah.
So they're kind of nerds on that, but they usually like counterculture stuff anyway. So they'll be into comics and D&D and stuff like that. And it won't be that big of a deal. A little older, you get into the Xers. We like beer, but I think we like hard alcohol more than we like beer.
You want your liquor.
Like the liquor. That's why all of us have our actual drink, but if you ask us, we don't really drink a lot of beer. Like when I started drinking, I didn't start drinking beer. I started drinking hard alcohol. It was not, I snuck a beer. It was, no, we got that Mad Dog 2020. Like, really?
MD
Really?
2020, boy.
Cisco? Oh yeah, let's drink all of that rotten gut.
Mm.
All
Yeah.
that rotten gut stuff. We got some
He's
fire.
like,
Mix it up. Mix it up. Mix it up. Mix up
Yeah,
the Thunderbird and the Cisco, man.
yeah.
uh,
Beer was something you drank
eh,
just because you didn't have any hard alcohol to drink.
yeah, me seeing exes growing up, I was like, yeah, go hard or go home.
Yeah, that's legit.
That's all the exes I see. It was like, nah, fuck that, we going hard.
No, we go all the way in. Look, you playing with it or you babysit.
Yeah,
What are you
exactly.
doing? So it would work with gaming. The space that I had was big enough to do that, but it would have been a different license to be able to legally, I say it clearly, legally sell food because I had so much space in there. I was thinking of putting something else in there that would work, and it had to be something food related. I was thinking of
Yeah.
coffee, but the difference with comic books and people sitting their ass around drinking coffee or liquid, you don't want liquid next to your books.
No,
Yeah,
you
they're gonna
don't.
be put
And you don't
and
and you
they're gonna
don't
be
want to
pissing
give
with
them the
shaky hands.
library. You don't want to give them the library vibe either, to where they
Yeah.
could just sit around and steal your material all day and then never buy the comic, and then actually ruin it. You know,
I
Yeah.
wonder how that one girl does it because that the black girl that has her own comic shop. I think it's in Jersey.
she closed.
Huh.
She closed
Oh,
down.
oh, she did.
Oh
Yeah,
shit.
she closed down before I did. She closed down the year before I did.
Damn.
I was tracking that story, and I think it was like in Philly or something like that.
Yeah.
Because I remember when she opened it, but that's what she was doing. But she was losing a lot of money on the food part of it. That's what it was.
Damn.
So having food and books together is a hard work. Even Barnes and Nobles, that's why they got away, at least from the one out here. They got away from having tables and chairs around their Starbucks that they would have in Barnes and Nobles. It
Oh.
seemed like a good thing, but what would happen is people would turn it into a library. They just
Yeah.
got coffee. They're just sitting there all day with the free Wi-Fi. They're reading all the books, but they're not buying any of the books.
Mm.
Damn.
It's just loitering.
You can't make them. Yep.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, that's that. Be honest with you, that it was a dumbass move.
It was.
Yeah.
It was a test. It was a test. It was a smart move, but you need a different way of doing it. Like if you bought the book, you could go over there and sit there and read it. But if you can just come in and hang out, because where our Barnes and Nobles was that did this, it was near a high school and a middle school and stuff like that. If you don't have to buy the book first, it's people just in there all day, drinking
Just
coffee,
peruse. Yeah.
eating scones, and manhandling your product that you're trying to sell.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's people who want to get out of the hot or the cold and
Uh-huh.
want to take a foot off, and I understand that, but I know it's not a good way to have a business succeed.
Yeah,
You remember
it's a different way
a
to
couple
work.
years ago?
Yeah.
Do you remember a couple years ago when they had those economy seats that they were mentioning for like airlines that wouldn't let you fully sit down? You'd be kind of like in a half squat. That's what should be there. So the people can't really like sit and read. They just kind of be like,
Yeah, it's not.
No. What you
necessarily
need to do is you need to vacuum seal all your books because then they have to
cost.
It costs for the vacuum seal. The machine is not the cost. The cost is buying the replacement bags, depending on how much volume and inventory you have. And then the other thing is you got to pay somebody to vacuum seal all the stuff. But the other part when you're selling books is that people want to look at the books. They don't usually buy books that they can't open and look at. It's like selling hardcover trades versus selling the soft cover trades. Soft cover trades will sell quicker. Even though they can be about the same price, they'll sell quicker. Reason being, hardcovers are always wrapped in plastic. You can't open it. You have to buy it to see if you like it. People don't want to do that. They want to pick up a book. They want to be able to look at it first, handle it, then decide. So that's why the soft cover.
Most I can think is like have like a sample copy.
Yeah, you usually leave one sample copy out, and then you just stack the rest of the hardcovers behind it, but you're still burning that one copy because it's going to get, hand printed, fingers slobbered on, bent the wrong way.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to buy it after that. So you're eating whatever the price is on that one.
Yeah.
First, you just decided that was the one that you're going to eat it on. All the rest of them you have to sell based on that. But that's it. Soft covers, you can sell the soft covers quick, as long as they're not overly manhandled.
Well, that's because they're cheaper too.
They're cheaper as long as the covers don't stand open like bent it like it's a turning book. As long as the cover doesn't do that, you can probably still sell it. But if once the cover starts getting bent, nobody wants to pick it up because it's
Yeah.
basically a visual thing. It's a psychological
Yeah.
thing. Like it's
It's like a
used.
used piece of tissue. Like
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
been,
Look here, you can
Well,
have this tissue, but it's all crumpled up. Now it looks like somebody blew their nose on it. No, it's fresh. I don't know. Never mind.
yeah, I mean, maybe when I always looked at it, I was just like, if somebody's been flipping through this book, it must be something good. So see most of my graphic novels, their covers are kind of like,
Yeah. But the
I mean, but that's also the YouTube thing where it's like work on your thumbnail. Maybe the cover is just good, but it's
well,
not good content.
the cover just has to be interesting enough to look at.
yeah, but the retail psychology of it is if it's been handled a lot and it's still here, it's probably not any good because nobody bought it. That's the mentality that goes into it. The more it's been handled and it's still there, the less people think it's good.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why, at least in the comic shop, you have to keep stocking that stuff so you have it to sell to give them that sense like,
Oh,
hey,
here's
maybe
what you
this is
could
the
do.
last one.
All right,
But
you can do it
also-
up front. You can do an upfront thing, right? Where you do kiosk. It'd be like a lot more cost, right? You have cool coffee table books, right? You know, you remember when coffee table books were a thing? You know,
Yeah.
cool
I still
photographs
like
like
coffee table
Serengeti.
books.
And then you have the regular books, but it's like a niche set by certain publishers. And then you have like kiosks that show the first 3 pages of the hottest stuff in the book. And then it's like, hey, you want to read the rest? Buy this. You want to read something? You have this coffee table book. And so you have like a 2-channel portal to sell people something. And then
Yeah.
hopefully you just upsell like $5 coffees. I don't know. Like it still doesn't make money, but I don't know.
Said upsell with a $5 coffee. Yeah,
Mhm.
I thought about coffee just because people will want to drink, but as soon as you put a couch in there, it's people lounging the whole time.
Yeah.
And in a bookstore, you only have to sell, especially a comic book store. The only thing you have to sell is in between the covers of that book. So
Yep.
you can't have a lot of people loitering around just reading through the whole book. You have to have people actually buy the book and take it home and read it. So
Yeah.
maybe you want them to stay, but as soon as you put chairs or a couch there, it gives the impression that I don't want you to stay. I want you to stay here, which means they might not want to buy anything. It does. Sometimes some comic shops, depending on the people that work in there, don't function like Cheers. They function like grocery stores. You get in, you get your meat, chicken, and eggs, and you get the hell out and go about your day.
That's why
I'll tell you,
comic shops
that's
with
why
cool
they designed.
staff. You hang out. You can hang out there.
Yeah, that's why they
my
designed
hometown-
the tables and chairs to be uncomfortable as hell.
Yeah.
I think comic book stores are going to be a thing for like medium or low cost towns. Like the comic book store I used to go to as a kid was I lived in a small town, and it was the one place, and it used to be like a shipping and receiving place for like, I don't know, like meat or corn or some shit like that. I can't remember, but it was like a reformed warehouse, right? So it was just like a big ass building, just a big box, and they had all the comic books on the walls, and they had one section on one half that was for, you know, the long stacks, and you could go through it and find, you know, your issues of whatever the fuck from 1984, and it was in decent shape, like, you know, considering it was in a major place. And then on the other half, they had the whole gaming area, and they had like, you know, Pac-Man, Marble Madness, and then like one new arcade game. And then they had an area where people played tabletop games, and the tabletop games were there because nobody really played Pac-Man, nobody really played Marble Madness, and nobody really wanted to play like Tekken. They kind of like spaced it out. And so they had this old place that nobody wanted to buy, but they bought it, and then they got it at a good price. And then it was in a cheap area, and it was probably 5-10 miles from a major area. So they had enough people who wanted to go there who like comics. Because I can't imagine, like, you know, San Francisco, Berkeley, Oakland, you know, Jersey, you know, like there's a bunch of places where you could probably get away with it. Like Raleigh, I think you could get away with a good comic shop, but you need like a place where
Raleigh,
it's not going to cost that square footage.
If you're in a small if you're in a small town, because I know like, cause my comic shop was in a small town, and it was the only comic book shop within like miles,
30 miles, right?
Yeah, so And that place,
You want to share that?
it just recently closed down. And so
Yeah, I've seen a lot more
it
like
closed
that for like
down.
half of that.
It closed down like 10 years ago.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's my old shop. So
Yeah.
the front area is all merchandise, right?
Yep.
This back area, back by the back issue bins and stuff like that, is all open area for gaming. We had tables and stuff like that in there. And then
Can you
that
guys hear
far,
me okay?
We can hear you
Now
now.
we can.
hear you
All right,
now.
cool. All right, cool. Yeah, no, I have my earbuds in, so I just wanted to make sure the connectivity was good. So, no, sorry to cut you guys off. Go ahead.
Oh, no worries. But it was full of books, right? So when you have that many books in one place, that was like one of the biggest shops around that actually did comics and gaming at the same time. You can't have everybody reading everything, right?
No.
Yep.
No, that's me gaming.
There he is.
That's a cut.
Ooh,
Don't need
shit.
that. That was work pick. Sorry.
Somebody fucked you up with them cards.
Yeah. I was at work working with a dumbass. But
Yeah, no. Oh no, go ahead. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
yeah, so that's pretty much how it was. I mean, it was a pretty big store that we could do all of that in it. It just needed something else in there to draw people in. So outside of the comics, outside of vintage video games and the Magic and the D&D and playing tabletops and some of the merchandise, it needed one other thing to make people draw and come in, but not
Yeah.
stay forever and just
Yeah.
damage the merchandise that we are trying to sell the whole time. Thank you, Art.
Yeah,
Stop that.
most comic shops now, like they're leaning less on the comics and more so on the pop culture stuff like Funko
Yeah.
Pops and all of the
Yeah,
trinkets and stuff like that.
yeah. Funko Pops really took that market over a lot. There you go. There's the other share, the reverse picture. So that's the back of the shop towards the front.
Mm.
So it's a big shop.
Yeah.
Or it was a big shop. It's straight back.
2,000 square feet, maybe
Yeah.
1,000.
Yep, just about. So
Yeah.
this whole back area was tabletop gaming and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of space. It's just doing something with all that space and keeping it filled.
Yeah. How do you sell? That's what you got to think. I mean, it's a business. It's a comic book business.
It's a business.
That's
Yeah, that shop. That shop, I would say, sold on having comics and personalities in the shop. Because as a comic book buyer, and I know this is getting far, taking over Art's show. He's talking about hobbies and not just one. But as a comic book buyer, the shop, the people that work in the shop is what draws me to a shop more so than just the shop and what it has in it. It's always about the personalities that are in there. And if people in there are cool, then I want to come back and hang out and chop it up with them. If they're not, maybe I'll buy comics there, maybe I won't.
You know what this reminds me is there's a bookstore in Paris called Shakespeare and Company, and they are sponsored by the government to have writers come in and do talks about their books, and it'll get like journalists in the area, so you could have like, let's say it's in the Bay Area, San Francisco Chronicle or something like that, and whatever local papers that come in, and they have like an apartment above. All this is government sponsored, and so it kept that bookstore has been open 200 years, maybe 150 years.
Yeah,
but it's like it's a shit box, right? But it smells like it was, opened in 1850 and it never cleaned.
They never did any upgrades.
I have a question though. Being sponsored by the government, like, how does that affect their sales from like the perspective of them like selling obscure books? You get what I'm saying? Like stuff that
they have new authors.
Yeah,
they care about preserving their culture.
Okay, cool. So there wasn't like much of a limitation of cat, right? Okay.
Yeah, if you want comic book culture to be a thing, and comic book culture is a thing now because it's pop culture, but it's also like an easy way to get people to read. If you get people to read 30 pages a day, that's an amazing thing, right? But you have to have that as the thing that you want your people in your society. You get dialogue, you get interaction, you understand emotion, story development, plot. You know what I mean? Like all these things that go on between humans, right? You have to invest in that type of thing. And comic books are very easy and has a visual representation, so you can see how this is going to be represented too, right?
So if how your culture sees them too.
Exactly. And the French care about their culture. They have a fucked up arcane language, but they care about it. and a lot of people speak about it and speak of it, even though the country itself is like 50 million people. Probably like a billion people speak that language because they give a shit about it, and they have a fading empire. But like they do that for their literature, but they do that for cultural institutions that they think that matters. Reading is one of them.
Yeah. Yeah. Whenever I wanted a kid to read, I would give them a comic first, especially
Yeah.
especially
Yeah.
black boys. That's the first thing you would want to give them, and let them choose for themselves, because that gets them into reading.
Yep.
And whatever gets them into reading, it's usually something that they're interested in. So as long as you find something that they're interested in that makes them want to read, that's the best thing to give them. As long as they're reading, it doesn't matter what they're reading.
That's how it started for me. Most
Comic books,
definitely.
it doesn't matter. As long as they're reading something,
Yep.
it starts spurning that enjoyment of reading, and not that I hate reading, I'm no good at this. This sucks. You know.
Your brain is a muscle.
Yep.
Muscles need to be exercised.
Yep.
And 20 pages a day, 50. I mean, there's a lot of fucking entertainment. There's a lot of advertisements in all of those comic books. But it's still like you're getting 20 pages of dialogue, exposition, implied knowledge. Like there's a lot of good stuff in there. And you just got to find that one or two, maybe it's Spider-Man, maybe it's Spawn, could be, Strangers in Paradise, whatever.
Strangers in Paradise.
Yeah, I got it, Artisan. I got it.
You got what?
No, honestly, the reason why I came up is. Oh no, go ahead.
No, I said you don't know that comic book, Strangers in Paradise?
No, I was laughing because he said, I know the comic book. That's why I was laughing when Jules said it. I didn't know that's what you were talking about. You had it too.
I like limited series. So that's why I liked it, because it was like, what, six volumes, maybe?
Yeah.
And then it was an interesting read. It was definitely interesting.
Terry Moore, he has his own YouTube channel now.
Yeah,
does it? Oh, that's interesting. I gotta check that out.
Yeah, I sold Strangers in Paradise. I did not read it because it was predominantly some females that were reading it. They said it was good, but it wasn't up my alley. So it was that with Strangers in Paradise, Monstrous, and there was another one, Rat Queens and stuff like that. But Rat Queens is like reading about people playing D&D just with chicks. So it was fun. It was fun. It was really, really silly.
Now, what were you gonna say, Beefing?
No, I was actually looking at the covers of Strangers and Things. Oh no, Strangers in Paradise. Now the covers would not they're not intriguing at all. Like
I'll give you the brief synopsis. It's like a kind of fey Asian guy moves in with like a blonde lesbian and a kind of busty brunette, and then they find out that the blonde lesbian comes from a family of spies, and the busty brunette is in love with one of them or both of them. I don't know. It's like a love triangle, but they're like college students. It was kind of fun, and then it was kind of boring. But it was one of those like introductions to the whole.
It was like a slice of life comic.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Exactly.
Yeah. No. The real reason why I came up is because like the whole topic of the stream is about hobbies, and like for me, like a hobby of mine was like graphic design. And I didn't really think to pursue it from a professional perspective, but unfortunately, I was bred to play basketball, like literally. I say that facetiously, but that was a thing. But once I got up into the community college realm, I'm like, no, I don't want to really take this any further. And then for me, I started to pursue like art as a career. Art was always intriguing for me. As a kid, I don't know, it was weird. Like growing up in a really small community, you just like really wanted to be up under a girl for some reason, like play sports or something, just like as a teenager, So like I'm thinking like, okay, cool. How attractive would I be if I'm an artist to these other girls when they're already attracted to something else, So I'm like, all right, we got to ditch this art thing, but revisit it back. And it's always been a hobby, and like it became a profession, and now it's my profession, and I've been doing it for like over like 9 or 10 years. And what's intriguing about what Art said, the whole industry is like transitioning to 3D. Like you have to rig every single thing, whether it's like 2D or 3D. And the next transition that has been a hobby for me is really conquering Blender, and using After Effects. You got to use like JavaScript, like to do any action scripts, and then anything outside of that, like if you use Blender, you got to use Python, So like
Yeah.
my hobby now is to like really tackle Python and figure out exactly what I can do and figure out with nodes, but then also combine that with code, you know?
There's a couple guys
I
who are
think
teaching it.
AB Media knows Python, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
So
I
Got
think he
you.
knows a lot.
so if you have any question whenever if AB's up here or he does a live stream, you can ask him. So I think I'm pretty sure he'll help you
Yeah.
because AB's a real good guy.
Yeah, I've done a few things in regards of code, but it hasn't really gone too far. Like I understand like just the rudimentary stuff like HTML and CSS.
Yeah.
But outside of that, like Java, yes. Other than that, like I'm like I don't really want to waste my time. Like I have hobbies and other things that I want to do. It's like crunching on code sometimes can be a little bit cumbersome, you know? So
Yeah.
Hell,
But you don't have to.
get my guilty pleasures, all of us,
stick with
video games, you know. So sometimes I spend tons of hours like just diving into that too, you know. So Tears of Kingdom,
That's a hobby too, man.
Tears of Kingdom have most definitely been eating up a lot of my time right now. So
Yeah, Call of Duty just got an update release today, so yeah, I'm gonna be grinding that out.
Call of Duty whore.
Hey,
Hey,
dark zone horror.
Yeah, look, I ain't been to the Dark Zone, but I was on Division last night too. Like, oh, it's another upgrade. Oh, season pass. Time to get back to it.
But honestly, from a cycling's perspective, where I'm at right now, there was a spot called the Recyclery, the Recyclery, like bike cycle, like you get the combination, right?
Yeah.
It's cheeky, but literally all they
Clever
would do
plan
is
words.
they would come and they would collect cheap bikes from people, and like literally you could get a setup that was probably birthed somewhere in like the late 80s, early 90s that you could hit the street in and like literally probably like entry level pay like $150 for maybe $200.
Yeah. I always forget about that. Yeah, because I know there's a bunch of like farmers markets and stuff like that, or like bike fix ups, and they'll try to get local kids to come and do the work and learn a skill. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, they have.
Because I have 3 bikes. I have a road bike, a fixed gear, and then like a hybrid. I'm not doing mountain biking. That just seems like that's like break your neck type of shit.
Yeah, no, most definitely.
But like the road cycle is too light, and then the road bike is too light, but it moves fast because that thing is like it's like riding on a feather. So the fixie works great, but you can't stop.
Do you break your fix? Okay, all right, that's what I was about to ask you.
Stop. That's
most
the thing
people
that
don't. Yeah, you got to lock in and lean forward. Like it's pretty interesting. Road bikes can be fun, but you got to always clip in. Like I don't like clipping in all the time. So
you don't have to, but you should. But I definitely I had a homeless dude who was telling me like, "Hey man, is that a fixie?" And I was like, "Yeah, it is." He was like, "That's a bike that don't stop." I was like, "Yeah, it is." He's like, "That thing sounds broke to me." I was like, "Yeah, it's fucked up, ain't it?"
Yeah,
you really can't.
You look broke.
Yeah, you really gotta keep pedaling.
Yeah, no, I'm only on 2. I want a third one, but I want a gravel bike, and I've been looking at Canyons, but it's just they're expensive right now, like price hikes and economy nonsense, you know. So price gouging, stuff of that nature. But a nice gravel bike with bucket pedals rather than clip-ins would be my ideal setup, like for an everyday thing, you know. So
I mean, the hybrid is kind of that. But it's a little actually the hybrid I use that if I want to go to get like so I'll go to what's it called Trader Joe's or like Costco, and I'll strap on a couple of the carabiners or not the carabiners, the paddocks, you know, the side thing.
Yeah.
I'll carry back a bunch of like wine or you know whatever if I need to go from one place to the next. That's what it's that's it. You gotta just bikes are great, but they're not perfect.
Good idea. Good line.
No,
great, not perfect. Yes.
No, they don't work well going uphill at all. So,
well, because you get those electric motors.
Exactly. Legs ain't strong like they used to be, huh?
Yeah, you're not lying, man.
So you get to push your leg down like.
Yep. Once you break like 35, man, that bike becomes unattractive. But move to a place that has a lot less hills.
Yep.
Less heels.
Yeah, take out no San Francisco, no Pittsburgh.
You'd be surprised. San Francisco, there'd be people running up and down the hills.
Oh yeah,
all
I've
day.
seen it.
Like,
I've seen it. But I thought San Diego was a great city. I was like, man, San Diego and Chicago seem like great cities. If you had a bike, that would be a perfect place to be cycling around in. Because it's like flat and everything goes on a grid. Or damn near everything.
So
what are the
more?
Yeah,
I cannot show you this, but I'm working on one of my hobbies. It's funny you did this stream today because I got some stuff in the mail yesterday. You were getting statues and I was getting magic cards and some other shit. And I was sitting here, I started pulling these cards for a deck because I was looking through this box. So I'm actually building this deck right now.
Are you building another magic deck?
Yeah, it's a pre-release deck. I ain't gonna have nobody to play the shit with though. But
see, that was my problem.
The fun part of building. I like building whatever, right? I like
that was my problem. A friend of mine got me into Magic, and I was like, oh, now I get why they used to play it back in the day. And I would walk past them, and I'm like, what are they doing? You know? And fast forward like maybe 15, 20 years later, here I am as a grown-ass adult with a friend, and he's teaching me how to play. And I'm like, yo, you know what? This is actually interesting. Yeah. And then maybe about 2 or 3 years later, he ends up moving. And I'm like walking around with these like 2 sets of decks wrapped in plastic, each card. My dice got everything in the bag. And I'm like, yo, who wants to play? And everyone's looking at me like, everyone's looking at me like, oh, I don't know. We got other stuff to do. And I'm like, fuck, yo, like, fuck. As soon as I felt it.
The thing with Magic is that you always have to find, you can always convert people to playing Magic because Magic is actually fun, right? Mm-hmm. But you have to teach it to them. So if you have a play group, it's just like D&D, right? Your D&D play group is strongest when you guys are probably in your 20s. Right?
Yeah,
you don't have kids.
Yeah,
maybe you're not about to have any kids or anything like that. That's when your play group is actually the strongest. But right after that, probably like 25 or so, people start going out in life. Girlfriends become wives, all this other stuff. Your play group gets pulled apart. So with Magic, the beauty of it is that it's not as hard to get into as D&D because the tough part about D&D is the initial setup. You have to get people into making a character and understanding what's going on. That part takes forever. But Magic, you can learn how to play Magic in like 10, 15 minutes and already be playing the game. It's like minimum setup. If you already have like a pre-con deck, you can just hand that to them and like, this is what we do. Let's shuffle these up and do it because everybody's played card games when they were kids. And the genius of this card game is it works on that same system.
Yeah,
it works on a system that already exists. It's just cards. They're the same size. They're the same feel. All the rest of that. You still go shuffle. You still go deal out 7 cards, just like you about to play poker or something like that. The only difference is, well, okay, this is my discard pile, and this is my draw pile right here, and we just have phases that we go in. We're going first, and that's it. You already off and run it, so it doesn't take long to learn, and because you can always modify the way you play or the way your particular deck or whatever works, it's infinitely interesting because it's never the same game. Even if you're playing the same deck against the same person, it's never the same game. Every game is different. So that's why it ends up being more fun. And you can play it longer, no matter the age group. Because I've played with people from 8 years old, barely knowing how, not even 8 years old. I think, what's his name was younger than that. Trace was younger than that. He's probably about 6 or 7, barely, learning how to read. And he's learning how to reading Magic cards, right?
Yeah.
Learning his grammar and what a semicolon and a comma is and all of that stuff from reading his Magic cards so he understands how to play it so he can beat his older brother.
Yeah.
All the way up to my age and somebody older than me that knows how to play. You know,
That abstract portion of it.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's actually infinitely fun, and to me, it is at least. You know, stuff.
It is. So I'm looking. So I was thinking about what you call it, so I'm a part-time movie buff, right? And I was thinking about the lecture that BGS gave on his earlier stream about movies that display um emotional
Emotional
labor
labor.
men doer. And I was thinking a lot more movies that feature black men don't feature that.
No.
You have to go back to like Oscar Michaud, and there's like examples I could think of, and there's not a lot. But when I look at it, like men performing emotional labor for women, there's a lot of them. And I was like, holy shit! Because I have a playlist on my Plex server that has like, I don't know, 500 movies that I consider black movies, maybe 1,000. I was like, God damn, I could pick out like 3 that are a man teaching a man how to be a man,
There's very few.
and there's more of them that are a non-black man teaching a black man how to be a black boy how to become a man.
Yep.
Damn, man.
That is the narrative in Hollywood that they actually support.
They
that
love it.
more than anything. I mean, the
Yeah.
perfect example of that is asking somebody what they think.
Django.
Well, not Django, but I would say After Earth. If you ask somebody about After Earth, they will tell you it's a box office bomb. Why is it a box office bomb? Because it's a black man with his actual son in a story about a father teaching his son how to be a man. And they shit on that movie left, right, and center. You can barely see it sometimes.
Oh, I got it.
Something like The Blind Side and Django, you can see that all the time.
Yeah,
fuck Blind Side.
Yeah.
That was a white woman.
If you want some movies, I got some movies for you. You ever heard of a movie called Rubber?
Shut up, dude. I sell people on Rubber now. I told you about that, didn't I?
No, you say you sold them on Tubi now.
I sold them on Tubi, but it was Tubi for him to watch Rubber. For him to have to watch.
I know that.
Or Robo Vampire.
Robo Vampire? No, I say that for the special people.
I like the vector version of the movie poster though. That's pretty intriguing. Rubber.
But nah, I mean, since it's his hobbies, collecting movies can be hobbies.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Or
Most
anime,
definitely.
Anime,
yeah, because that's very niche.
Yeah.
Probably not as niche now, but it was niche back in the day. We had like
back in the day.
I got a commercial to show you, Arson.
Here we go.
Here, hold on. This gonna bring back some memories, man.
What commercial is this? Might not be Teddy Ruxpin.
Nah, it ain't Teddy.
Munchy cheese.
Nah.
Oh my god! I can't believe you guys just mentioned that. Hey, I remember. Artisan, it's funny that you bring up the word. You said the Monchichis because I remember that was like a nickname for one of my siblings when they were little. Because when they were a toddler, it was my sister. When she was a toddler, she was light, and she had the ears to go with it, and she's light skinned.
That was when those characters came out. That used to be an insult we would call each other on the playground. Like, you bald-headed munch.
That's how Pharaoh Munch got his rap name, by the way. Because he came to high school with a fucked up haircut, and they called him Munchichi because of it.
Yeah, looking like a Munchichi. Yeah, I have cousins and little cousins when they were little. That's what we said they looked like. He looked like a little Munchichi because he had the little small afro, shiny cheeks and whatnot. It was like,
Did they have the big ears as well?
Yep, the little chimp ears.
The ears thick ears.
What's up, baby?
Wait, what's going on?
What up, baby?
What's going on, guys? Here you go, Artisan. Here it is.
Uh-oh. Should be scared.
This is a blast from the past right here.
This ain't no Mickey Mouse. This ain't no Looney Tunes.
It's
anime.
It is anime.
Store.
That labor.
You can catch the anime fever or turbocharge.
Oh, that was
video collection.
Yeah, you had to slow it out because I remember those. Oh, you bought some old videos. That's what you got. Yeah. That was manga.
It's animation grown up and gone wild. Call this toll-free number now.
$4.95.
I have that.
Damn, man.
I have exactly that Wrath of the Ninja on VHS. I have that.
And you
That's
get a
back
call
in
this
the
animation.
day.
Project A Code. That's the one. I
Echo
have that one
versus
too.
Battle
VHS.
1, absolutely free. That's right.
1-800 this, that, and the third.
Videos for just $4.95. This is a
Ooh, that's old.
of apocalyptic
that was a
proportions.
Vampire
So
Hunter.
call now.
Did you ever try and encode that from VHS to DVD or
No, I just ended up
buy it
formatting.
again?
I bought
Yeah.
the next format. If I thought it was really good, I wanted to keep it. I just bought the next format of it.
Yeah, that's about right.
You
know,
I have
that's
a
old.
handful.
$4.95. Damn.
Yeah, it's like Wrath of the Ninja. I have on VHS because I bought it when it was brand new. And there's also Red Hawk, MD Geist, bunch of other old classic stuff, my Evangelions and stuff. That was all VHS when I bought it, and I still have it because that's how it was. But when the format changed up to DVDs, I bought a shitload more because then you could start getting those collections like the Samurai Sevens, the Cowboy
Yeah.
Bebops, the Escaflowne. You can get the whole box set and the special box set and the tin and stuff like. Oh yeah, I need all of these on the shelf.
Big giant long box sets he used to have.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Like, yeah. This my
I still have my Cure on VHS.
Yeah, I had so many movies and anime, it was ridiculous because I told you before, that's what when my kids got around, that's what we did on the summer months. It's during the summer months we'd just start watching movies. Like we'd just start going through it every day. Start at 8 because I'm OCD like that. All my stuff was alphabetized. My movies and everything. So it didn't matter how many I got, it was always alphabetized. So we just start at 8 and go all the way through.
Well, that makes sense. You want to keep things in a particular order so you know where to put everything.
I did it
That's
so I
nice.
know where to find shit because I grew up with a bunch of around niggas that was thieves. So
Yeah, that too.
I was
That was the
looking
one
for
thing.
a hole in my G section, like somebody ran off of my Ghostbusters.
Hey,
Who
bro,
the hell?
it's bad when it's your maintenance man.
Oh man.
Damn.
Nah, you get hurt.
Oh,
I could have sworn my maintenance man took like one or two of my movies. I was like, I know I had this movie.
Yeah, some of them
Hat labor
usually
too.
do.
Well,
it
Some
was
of
funny
them-
you guys mentioned that stuff because I remember like a lot of us had like had a television deck, right? It was like a custom shelf where you could put your television such and set everything, and you have your setup right.
Right.
And all the cabinets had keys to the locks and everything. So you put your stuff in there, you just have to lock the key in there, just make sure nobody tries to get in there and such.
Yeah, your
Every
old
single
school-
cabinet had a
your
key.
old
Had a
school
little,
video cabinets always had locks on it because videos were expensive.
Yeah, they
You know,
were.
they're
Oh,
an
yeah.
expensive thing. So you wanted to lock them up to keep people from getting into it, or keep your kids from getting into your porn collection. If you
That
put it on
didn't
top
work.
shelf.
who remembers?
No, it never worked, but you appreciate them
I
trying.
know.
It's
But
like,
yeah,
oh,
I
that's
had a
cute.
question.
That's cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cute. They put
Let
that
me ask
lock
you a
on it.
question.
Oh, we learned how to do this at school.
Let me ask you something. Who remembers like the VHS rewinders? You know
yeah.
that little device that you put in to
Decon
rewind the
rewind, man.
VHS?
I do. I even remember the sound it made when it finally got close to being finished.
Boom.
I remember like when you open it, it starts playing like ridiculous music and shit. Like in my case, it just played like I don't know why they put it in this one. They had remember the song Lambada? The
Yeah.
melody would pop up on the one we had. I was like,
Show her my
what the hell?
You're-
Oh man.
So the topic of today is hobbies.
Hobbies.
So what are your guys' hobbies? You guys just can't AB, Nama, the Griff.
Starting to get back into this hobby. Reading history.
That's a good
shit.
Any recommendations?
Well, right now I'm going through a Tragedy of Hope.
Uh-oh.
Good luck, man. That's a fun book.
I know
like
it's a long ass book, but I like reading history.
That's what
It's like the back of a comic book. You know the comic book cards where they talk about the traits of Wolverine. It's like that book, but just every single
That's
character.
an essentials. That's an essentials.
Yeah.
Yes.
But even when I was younger, I would look up. That's why I bang my head up against the wall when a lot of these kids don't even know who the first president is. Because I used to look up history on the presidents for fun.
Shit, we used to
I
have
used
to
to
know that stuff. We used to get
Look
quizzed.
at your dollar bill.
I used to do that stuff for fun, and these kids don't know nothing.
They don't
A
need
lot
to.
of these kids don't care about history, man.
They want to
I'll
be
be
like
honest with
Mizzy.
you. You'd be surprised how many people don't know who the first president is as an adult.
Yeah.
You know he's black, right?
Oh,
Oh, here's my favorite. Here's my favorite one. This is a trick question, I like to throw it at everybody. Who was the first president to have black children?
Abraham Lincoln.
I mean,
ooh.
Thomas Jefferson would be my first.
Close,
Mm.
close.
Sam Adams.
But based on what I've read, it may have actually been George
John
Washington.
Adams, maybe. George
George
Washington, of course.
No,
Oh,
Yeah,
John,
it's just
George
not
Washington was
recorded.
sterile.
Oh, by the way, artist Sam Adams was never a president. You got mixed up for his cousin
Wait.
John, or maybe his
I was,
nephew
making,
John
I
too.
was making a joke.
Yeah, that too.
Hey, B, are you saying George Washington had black children?
There's a possibility.
No, he said
Really?
George Washington was begging slaves.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, I
Pretty
know.
much.
He was after Una Judge.
the rumor is that he actually died chasing a female slave, a black female
Una
slave.
Judge. Yeah. The woman who ran up to Philadelphia.
I'm like, gee, I wonder
End up
why.
catching they end up catching pneumonia.
That is interesting. Where can you
Yeah.
should you drop that in the private chat? Where you got that?
Oh,
Because I know he pursued her for like years.
yeah, I don't know what source to give you. It's been a while since I looked that up.
They want to pay that child support.
Bring back my pen. You will
Hey,
bring back
get yeah, child support would be give all of Northern Virginia to black folks.
Paul Wilson said
For
just
back,
out of
for back
curiosity.
child support, we want Northern Virginia.
Paul
just-
Wilson,
From DC, from Arlington over to Gainesville.
But no, not just reading history. For those of you, I know artisans are gonna love this. One of my hobbies, artisan knows this clearly, is I'm a Trekkie.
Yeah.
I watch old Star Trek.
But see, like
hold on,
Jules
hold
was
on.
saying.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
My bad.
Paul Wilson said, just out of curiosity, are cartoons such as Astro Boy, Tobor, The Eighth Man, Gigantor, yeah, they're considered anime.
Yeah. Anime for real. I'm a baby boomer.
And in your time frame, I guess they call them Japanimation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well,
Japanimation.
came in. Yeah, Japanimation came in. Well, I guess maybe boomers, but I would say Xers. But Astro Boy is one of those early anime. I remember the 8-Man, but I don't remember Tobor the 8-Man.
Yeah, speaking
Speed
of which,
Racer, definitely.
Oh.
My mother
Oh, that's my shit.
Racer.
I love
Yeah,
Speed Racer.
My uncle and my mother used to love Speed Racer. So
Yeah.
that was anime before I even knew what anime was.
Shout out to Mac. Mac, if you want to get back into Legos, you should buy the what is it? What one do I have? The Optimus Prime set. It's pretty interesting. That's the last Lego set that I've like literally bought. I'm pretty picky when it comes to buying a lot of plastic, but I had to
I always
buckle
love
down and buy
Legos. I
that
don't
one.
give a shit about Legos. That was one of the gifts
If you're into
my kids
Legos-
had that they didn't have to actually get from anybody else because I gave them a bucket of Legos. Like shit,
Yeah.
let's do
Well,
it.
you can thank the Danish for Legos. I mean, that's where it is. That's where it was invented.
I don't care. Thank you to whoever because I
Yeah.
love
No, I'm talking to whoever invented Legos because But I remember there's always a place, like any resort you go to, there's always a place where like the kids can enjoy themselves and play Legos and such.
Shit, they got a
They got
Lego
these
land in Orlando, don't they?
Hell yeah.
They got one in Denmark.
And I think they got one in New York as well, too, if I'm not mistaken.
Y'all gotta be triple saying, where's my Darth Maul Lego? Where's my Lego Darth Maul? Yeah, exactly. Where is my Maul, man? He usually sitting on my desk. He must have got knocked around somewhere. He must have got
I need hobbies. Let's see. Other than gaming, not a lot of things. I mean, sometimes I just like to dabble in watching history documentaries. or documentaries that like on Magellan TV or Curiosity.
Yeah, I can sit down and
But
watch a history documentary.
yeah. I mean, History Channel is cool, but we don't have it up here unless you got it like a cable or something like that. And I chose to switch to streaming, gave up cable, and it's just my internet, and I'm good.
I think if you have Max, you can still get a hold of it. No, it's not. No, I'm sorry.
Well,
I think
where
it's
y'all
Disney.
at?
Never mind.
Here there's one of the network streaming one of the streaming apps. One of the TV networks has their own streaming service. They got some kind of a deal with Disney, so if I get like a monthly subscription with them, Disney
Hulu.
Plus comes with it.
Yeah, Hulu. It's Hulu.
No, not here. Not up here in Norway. We don't have Hulu up here.
That's right. You're in Norway. Everybody.
Yeah. I'm on the other side of the Atlantic.
It's
the streaming services here we have like here for the Nordic regions are TV2. There's then you have ones for the like individual state-run media for each nation, and then there's like I forgot one of the other networks. They have Viasat. They have their own streaming service called Viaplay. So with it, you can and depending on what kind of package you want, you can have like the basic, or some of them have their own sports channels that are included, but that's extra. But the state-run media, that's usually for free, and you can watch whatever you want on that one for free.
So can I say something to Paul Wilson real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
So Paul, I just looked up Tabor the 8-Man. Now I understand why. See, Art would know this one. 8-Man After, right?
Yeah.
Tabor is the first one. That's why the one that we know, 8-Man After, that's why he has the After. It's a remake of Tabor the 8-Man.
Oh, okay.
Black and white. I was like, oh, okay, learn something new every fucking day. Thank you for that, Paul. Thank you for that, because this is the original 8-Man in black and white. I was like, oh, that's badass.
Oh man,
I did not know that. That's why I was like, I know of 8-Man, but I don't know of.
Yeah, I know 8-Man. I remember the arcade game
After. Yeah, 8-Man After was my shit.
Yeah, it was.
Wait, they made a game for 8-Man? That's crazy.
Yeah, you know what? I could play it.
Yeah, I never saw the game. I didn't see the game.
It's an arcade game. Hold on.
I use that though. I'll tell you this.
Who just hit somebody with a shovel?
Mix up my geekdom.
Oh.
One of the things that
I heard a clank just now.
That was part of me drinking my beer. I had a long day.
Oh, because it sounded like somebody just hit somebody in the head with a shovel or something like that. I heard a clank, a loud clank sound.
I can hit somebody upside the head with a shovel if you want.
No, I got that covered. Then again, I remember some of the sound effects you hear from certain movies are loud as ridiculous as hell. Like I remember like one of the battle scenes from Braveheart. Somebody hit a guy with a mallet. With a stone mallet, but that guy had a helmet on. I don't know, for some reason that clank sound, the weird clank sound, it was like bunk. It just keeps making me laugh every time. But anyway, I digress.
Go ahead, Artisan. Then the Griff. I guess the Griff got to say his stuff.
Let the Griff go. Let Griff go.
Oh, you want me to go?
Yeah, go ahead, Giff.
Yeah.
Okay. I had a lot of hobbies like when I was young. That's why I kind of get mad when the kids be like, "Oh, there's nothing to do." I'm like, there's movies, there's video games, but the main stuff I would really do with like my brother and my uncle, we were mostly like, it was always the same order. Either we were playing with, we'll watch a TV show or watch a movie and read a comic book, and then we'll imitate it like when we're playing with the action figures and stuff. But like, give it our own little twist. Yeah. And just have like fun, because you know how like you'll watch a movie and you'd be like, damn, if they would have kind of did this would have been a little bit better.
Yeah.
So we just do that with the toys and stuff like that, because like when I be having different conversation with like-minded people like ourselves, I be telling them like, yo, if they would have kind of flesh out the characters a little bit with the story, it would have been better, because this stuff was entertaining, but the story was kind of falling flat. And they'd be like, yo, you're right. It would have been better if they would have did that. Or if they would have did better choreography with the fighting, the movie would have been better because they had good storytelling, but the action was like okay and stuff like that. So
Yep, hence the reason I play RPGs.
I can say
That's
this.
definitely. Go
If you
ahead.
guys have ever seen the movie Ice Pirates with Robert Urich,
I never seen it.
me and my brother acted out that whole freaking movie with GI Joe toys. That whole freaking movie.
Oh yeah, it was easy to.
We love that movie. We watched that movie like 7 times just on cable, and then we acted it out with GI Joe toys.
Oh yeah, I acted out almost a whole bunch of martial art movies with GI Joe.
Oh, yeah.
That was fun as hell.
Yep.
Now, I had more to like when I grew up. We had more to like that's when like action figures was really starting to like come in. So I kind of had like the TV show second generation like X-Men. Like when they was wearing like the tight blue spandex, like that kind of stuff. Like when like Cable, Cyclops, Bishop, Jean Grey, Iceman. Who else?
When Marvel start getting better licensing on their action figures.
Mm-hmm.
They stuff is better now, I think. Like a lot of the action figures,
It's
like
a
I'm
lot
sad.
better now, but that's partly thanks to Todd McFarlane and his company because he made everybody up their damn game. Because when he started making action figures, everybody wanted that shit because it looked like the characters jumped off the pages. They had so much detail, so much articulation and stuff like that. And he was selling them for a grip, and they were selling out. Like,
facts.
We got that.
I still got a couple Spawn characters.
Yeah, I had a bunch of them. They got lost due to ex-wifey, but somebody got a bunch of boxed Spawn movie toys in the box.
Damn. Oh my God! My condolences, bro. Oh, I'm sick.
A whole set of them bitches.
Nah, what pissed me off was that when you're little and you know you can't get half the shit that you want.
Yeah, that's what your teens and early 20s was about. Like,
shit. That's what.
Why did I
now.
love having a job? As soon as I got a job that was paying me and I could have my own bank account, I was doing shit like that commercial art was putting up there, like, $4.95? I got a checkbook. I will bet. So I could get these videos, and packages was showing up to my mother's house. She said, "The hell did you order? Some stuff?"
He said some stuff.
All kind of crap, ninja stuff, all kind of crap was coming to the house. I couldn't wait for that.
Hey, what do you think I'm doing now?
Yeah, exactly. You ain't quit yet.
I'm enjoying myself.
Yeah, exactly.
Respect.
I still got my eye on a life-size replica of Bruce Lee from it might be Game of Death. It's the one where he rips out what's his name? Chuck Norris's chest hair.
Yeah.
You remember that one?
That was Return of the Dragon.
Was it Return of the Dragon?
I think it was Return.
Yeah. But it was like 6 feet, but it was made out of plastic. And like, you got to have a special way to move this. So I was like, if I got anybody with a pickup truck to move it, that thing would have fallen apart. Yeah, so I got to find someone with a specialized rig.
That's when you buy a house and put that in it. That's not the apartment.
Yeah, that's that house stuff. Yeah.
I got the townhouse, but I need the downstairs like lair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said the lair.
Or at least a man cave, like the little garage or something.
I hate the term man cave, but he said lair, and that automatically makes that a lot cooler.
Like, that's
two pants in there.
Like my townhouse is fine. It's like 1,700 square feet, which is good, but it's like 3 stories, so it's not like a ton of space.
Right,
I want
it's all stacked.
Yeah, exactly. I want the basement to be 2,000 square feet, and then everything to go up like kind of a pyramid.
Yep.
You know, and then that downstairs, that'll be like my office. And if I want to start doing some lives, then I can do that.
Yeah, there you go. Yep.
Oh, they really made a game? That's crazy. SNK made
it. Yep. Should have known SNK made it. Oh, look at him. He doing the super speed too. Dude, that's sick. Why am I thinking of Streets of Rage right now or Double Dragon?
They do like Double Dragon.
Actually, believe it or not, I actually paid Streets of Rage 4 not too long ago when I had Game Pass.
Really?
Yeah, it was pretty
It
nice.
looks like that same year.
Yeah, I bought it. It's a pretty good game. It's a throwback, but it's like with the new
Yeah, it's an
stuff.
old
Like it's
school
just pretty
arcade
cool.
game, which is why I played it.
Yo, this game like it was ahead of its time. It looked cool. Like
Yeah.
Yeah,
By the
I mean,
way,
if you look at this game, what do you see? Right, you can see what was it, X-Men versus Capcom or some shit like that. That's what it looks like.
oh no, it's Marvel. Yeah, it's X-Men versus Capcom. Yeah, you all said
Or
Marvel versus
excuse me,
Capcom.
Marvel versus Capcom.
no, you know what? No, you know what it remind me of the It was the old X-Men game they used to put in the movie theaters that they put up like the arcade one.
Yep. And then his moves.
But it did. But this one like it
Strider.
plays way better though. It's not
Yeah,
like
this is
rip.
a Strider game. Side scrolling fun. This is how you know you suck when you was a gamer back in the day. If you couldn't get to that next board, just side scrolling like you were garbage. What's coming out?
Nah, that Ninja Turtle one was rigged, bro. I don't care what you say. We was beat it, but you're throwing hella quarters, my boy. Like you could not beat it with finesse.
No, this side scrolling games like this is another one of the hobbies is video games, but I can't pass an arcade. I cannot pass an arcade. I see an arcade somewhere, I'm in that bitch. I will spend $20 in the arcade just to make sure I get my jollies in there. No bullshit. And if they got, I'll tell you this, just off top. If it's an arcade, there's a couple of games I always look for. If they have a Time Crisis, an Area 51, you're gonna lose me for about 30 minutes.
Yeah, don't go to Dave and Buster's then, because they definitely got the
I got a Dave and Buster's.
time.
They'd be too expensive, but I like an old school arcade where it's just like quarters or tokens or whatever the fuck. And I will drop $5 in that bitch and play both sides by myself with two guns, like Brandon Heat. They just start bucking everything.
He said Beyond the Grave. Damn.
Yep.
That's my show. I love that show. That's my show. They just made a game. Another one.
Yeah, Gift, I got a question for you, man.
Yes, sir.
When you say Ninja Turtle game, which one we talking about?
Not the one that the Turtles in Time. It was the one just before that.
That was
the
jam,
one.
Turtles in Time.
That was the best one. That one was fun. But the other one, like I remember, me and my brothers we used to play. Like my cousins, we all like play the game and stuff. And you just had to like put like mad quarters.
Which system?
Arcade? I think that game came out. I think it was for later on. I'm trying to remember. It was for Nintendo originally.
Okay, because I remember like Turtles in Time was available on Super NES and such. And speaking of gaming, who remembers the rivalry between Nintendo and Sega back in the early '90s?
Shit, I was in the midst. I was born.
I was in the midst of it.
I was born in that. I was
Sega because I was still playing Atari when they made Nintendo. Like what the fuck?
He said the Atari. I wasn't even.
Yeah, I jumped on Nintendo. I was on that shit for decades.
I remember actually having an Atari before I got Super NES, but I never played Nintendo.
The only one I didn't have was the Odyssey.
The first video game system I got was the Nintendo, the original NES.
Mine was the second generation of Sega. When they had like the 16-bit, I want to say like when they upgraded. That's what I got.
Genesis.
That's the Genesis. Yeah. However, in Europe, the Genesis is called the Mega Drive. And I had some friends, and I remember when I went home, when I went back home, and there were some brothers who came home from Germany, and when they would look at us sideways when we kept calling their console, Genesis, and like it's Mega Drive.
It's a Mega
Drive. I said, yeah, but in the States it's called because I had a Super NES, right? The difference between how it is in the US and the European one is like the
Super Famicom.
If you look at the joypad on the European one, it's multicolored, not purple. Like it is on y'all.
Look at TD tell him. He said Atari 2600 vet right here. Yeah. Night Driver.
He been gaming since gaming. He been gaming forever.
Pitfall, that shitty ass ET game, like.
I forgot what it was. I think it was called Blaster. It was like two tanks. It was a red tank and a blue tank.
Blaster.
My God.
It was like Blaster. It was called Blaster. They had some really basic ass name. Asteroid, Centipede, just some one name things. But it was fun. You play that shit forever. Like Skydiver is the most. If you looked up a video, if you could find it, a Skydiver on the 2600, it looks like the most ridiculous shit to see. Just a bunch of pixels, dropping from the top of the screen and you moving a little pad to land on it. Combat. There you go, TD. Tell them, it was combat with the tanks.
Yeah.
But it was fun. It's what you played. It was of its time. If you compare,
I'm not mad.
I remember
garbage. But at the time,
I remember when I was younger, because I went to an international school for elementary, and they had like a little after school program.
It was combat.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I remember it was like they let us play with it. There were like some PC games back then, and I remember we used to play something called Battle Chess.
Yep.
Does anybody remember that?
Yep, I remember that.
It was on PC.
Oh, I think they just made a game for it. It was a comic, right? If I'm not mistaken, or like an anime or something. Manga Battle.
No, Battle Chess. It was chess, only like all the characters, all the pieces were animated.
Yep. I remember that. So you.
I remember there was also another. I forgot. There was a couple other games we were supposed to like. They taught you how to do like deduction, how to use your skills of deduction to figure out who committed the crime and whatnot.
Yep. There you go, Art.
Yep. Combat. Yeah.
This ain't no game. This is combat.
That was my shit. I used to love that.
I had a younger brother, so me and my younger brother was battling on this shit.
Yeah.
1977.
Everything had to be 2 players, so we was just having to go at it. That's just what it had to be.
Yeah, I used to play the fuck out of this damn game, man.
Goofy, but that's 2600. That's
what is it?
Video game playing. Right?
Hey, look, it was the innovators. Without those games, we wouldn't have games. So I'm never gonna hate on them. I respect them.
So look, I played a rich ship. Invisible Barrier.
I'm sorry, AB.
Which art you talking to? There's 2 arts.
I meant to say AB. I'm sorry. I meant to say AB but I said art by accident. I meant to ask AB a question. Yeah, I mean, as an Xbox gamer, I wanted to know what was your take on the whole Ubisoft putting out their own Plus service.
Well, that sounds like off now.
Like.
Yeah, real.
No, I didn't watch it. I did watch the Xbox showcase, and it was pretty decent.
Yeah. I've been seeing ads for on Facebook.
I haven't seen the Ubisoft thing. I was
there you go,
more interested in Starfield.
Okay.
That's supposed to be the big game coming out in the fall.
I love this one too.
What is it? Helicopter tag?
They're like biplanes. They're supposed to be biplanes. So you fly around trying to shoot each other. I was dogfight with my brother. I was killing his ass. He hated this part. That's why I'm laughing. I can remember him being mad. He's not there. He keeps killing me.
Damn.
He
was fucking his brother up.
Gotcha. Oh, good memories, man. Good memories.
Oh yeah.
You ever had like there's a soccer player that comes to mind when you mention things like that, because I remember there's this one player, Kylian Mbappe. He talked in 2018 when every time he scored a goal, he had this he'd do this pose where he just stand there with his arms crossed, but like how you have your arms crossed with your thumbs up.
B-boy stands.
And he's sticking his little bottom lip, and they were like, "What the hell is that about?" He said, "When I was a kid, anytime I beat my younger brother in any video games, he would just do that. He would just like just sulk like that." So anytime he scored a goal, he was just just giving showing some love to his younger brother.
Nice.
And everybody would just laugh because they knew what that meant.
Mm-hmm.
Better than Antoine Griezmann, because he would just do this weird he'd do the Pennywise dance while holding up an L on his forehead. This is 2018, folks. Yeah. Comical goal celebrations. But
I used to play that what's that old football game before Madden came out, the Techno Ball or something like that?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I used to play that with one of my big cousins. That was funny when I was young.
Gotta go back to 10-yard fight, man. What are you talking about?
10-yard fight. Yes, sir.
I remember I never played Tecmo Bowl, but there was another game I did play. It was on.
Yo, Bo Jackson was the goddamn cheat code. Bro. Oh my god, he be breaking. He was just game breaking in that game, bro. It was
I guess Bo
ridiculous.
knows video games, huh?
I mean, that's 'cause
Yeah,
Bo
Bo
Jackson was
knows
the
best.
shit.
No, Bo Jackson was cheap as shit in that damn game.
That's what I said, bro. He was like the game shark without the game shark. Like ridiculous, bro. Like that shit was ridiculous, bro.
Do these young
I met
kids
him
know
in
what a game
person
shark
once.
is?
I met him in person once, right? He is one of the few guys who was so big that he had to turn sideways to get out of an elevator.
Damn.
It's just like he was just like a wide man. And
Charles
he was at the
love it is.
Charles
he was at one
is
of those, the World Little League what's it called? The World Little League Finals. And he was talking to one kid on the field, and he was like, I can't remember. He won the Heisman and he won something else. That were like the designation that you're the top player of both these leagues for baseball, college football. And the little kid was like, "You did that?" And I was like, "Yeah, I did that." Because he looked like an old man, but he looked like an old man who was just like, got thicker, got fatter. But he just, just time catches up to you. But it was just an impressive looking man to look at. He looked like you could put your head through a wall.
The dude,
He looked like Omni-Man, like Omni-Man as a human.
Probably
being.
can't still put your head through.
Yes.
I understand
move as
something. I understand something about Bo Jackson. I think it was in his 30 for 30. They talked about his life after football and baseball. Like he got into culinary arts and bow hunting. So this guy is with bow hunting.
That's another hobby that we need. Does anybody fish or hunt?
Yes.
I fish.
I did it before, but I never took the liking to it. Though I hate it.
I tried fishing, never got into it.
I like fishing the few times that I've been, but it's not something I do regularly. Probably I get older and closer to a lake, I will. But no. And hunting. I was talking with my coworker about this later in the week. One of the other things, my hobbies that I do collect is like guns and stuff like that. Like art buy statues, I buy weapons. So I don't get to shoot as much as I would like to, but I never owned a rifle because I lived in the cities. So you don't have rifles in the city. You usually have pistols.
If you live in an Emerald City, so they allow it.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm California. I mean, y'all heard about our gun laws. They get you for having a smelling like a bullet.
Yeah.
He can't even have a fake gun with him. Shit.
They don't want you to have a slingshot with a rock in it.
That's what I said. Like, little anime gun. They like, you got to register for that? You like, what?
Register that?
It's made out of plastic.
It's made out of
You gonna have to come with us, sir. You're gonna have to come with us. Then he put the techno ball. I just seen this.
This is a play action football. This is play action.
Oh, that's what. Oh, I remember.
I remember the NES, the Super NES version, Super Play Action Football. That was like one of the only. I never had Madden. I had this instead. No, not this one, but
it's like 10-yard fight at an angle. That's all it is. 10-yard fight at an angle.
Yeah.
Has anyone put this online to stream it on like a Twitch thing?
What's that?
This is a video that I'm playing off of
Play
YouTube
action.
right now. Somebody did.
No, I don't think. I don't know if you can. Can you stream NES games or Super NES games on Twitch?
You can. You just have to buy the equipment to make sure you can stream it onto OBS.
Yeah,
okay.
you could make a Raspberry Pi, but I don't know what the specifications would need to be.
No, you just
aren't Raspberry Pi illegal?
No.
Okay.
Not in the States. They've never been illegal in the States.
No. Oh, I think they're illegal in the UK. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm wrong.
Nah, a Raspberry Pi is just a computer. You can make it do whatever you want it to do.
It's a mini Linux.
That's true. That's true.
It's a mini Linux computer.
Yeah, you could.
Well,
yeah, you could. I think the Raspberry Pi is just easier to set up for PC. Because I know one friend who did that for like his.
I think every time anybody says Raspberry, I got to think of the Prince song.
What's that?
Every time you say Raspberry, I think of the Prince song. Raspberry Beret.
Oh yeah. No, it's good. It is a good name. No, but I have a friend who did it for his like garage stuff because his house is set back from, or the garage is set back from the house. It's not attached to it, and so he has like a relay from his Wi-Fi router that'll connect to the Raspberry Pi, and then the Raspberry Pi will run all the stuff in the garage, lights, garage opener, all that type of stuff.
That was my all-time favorite baseball game.
I think in my household we used to play RBI baseball.
RBI. Extra Innings was fun because it had the more cartoony characters, but then it was also Baseball Stars because you customize characters.
I played something similar to it, but the characters look more realistic. You know what I mean? They were still cartoon pixel, but, you know, it had more of a realistic tone to it.
Dude, we would have whole seasons playing on this with like 5 or 6 dudes in the house just playing.
Oh hell yeah!
In his baseball series, like serious. For real, this is my team. We go play a World Series in the playoffs and everything.
Who remembers? All right. Here's my question, everybody. Who remembers MLBPA baseball? It was the first game by EA. Baseball. It was a player. There was a Major League Baseball Player Association who.
Oh boy!
They didn't get the licensing from Major League, but from the league, but they got the Player Association's license to use actual players and such, and they had the stats from.
My first baseball game was Ken Griffey Jr.
Ken Griffey, yeah, Ken Griffey was all right. Excuse me.
No, I didn't play that.
Mixed up with Senior. How many fathers and sons do we know that were great in baseball? Man, we need Snowman up in here. He helped out that.
Then I used to play
too.
the Holyfield boxing game.
Holyfield.
Because you had to put the cheat code in to put in for like Mike Tyson, and there was another character to put in like the cheat code characters was Mike Tyson. It was Beast, on the Holyfield game. It was for Sega.
I don't think there was a Mike Tyson code. I think it was just a Beast code. You just typed in the word Beast and then it turned green.
No, they had two. It was like one he would wear blue, and then it was one he was green, like you said. No, it was the Beast was blue, and then it was like one that would look like a fake cartoon character one, and then it was like one he kind of like Mike Tyson, and then it was also the Hawk one because that was the one that would turn green. Because he had all the stats up. That was the cheat one. Hawk.
That was Beast. He was green.
Beast was okay.
Yeah, Beast was green. Yeah, I remember because I had that. I have that game. I still have it.
That used to be fun. I used to play that jump. Like, damn, trying to beat fucking Holyfield, bro.
Nah, I remember that game because I'll tell y'all a funny story. All right, what happened with me, my brother, and my dad? All right, so me and my brother were playing that game, and we was up past our bedtime, and we were just going in each other that game. And my dad looked down the hall, saw us playing, and he just yelled, "Hey, man, we turned that TV off so fast and jumped in the We woke up the next day. The game system was still on. I was like,
he was still playing. He was playing himself, huh?
They was like, look, losing our life ain't worth this fucking game, boy.
Like, nope.
Turn that bitch off. They just went in the bed and turned the TV off quick as hell. Shit. I remember those moments. God damn.
Hey, my dad's favorite line: "If you don't, you better."
If you don't, you better.
He was like, "What you mean by that? We don't want to know."
Thinking about it, you gonna get fucked up. You're still thinking about it.
I remember as a kid, if you thought about doing something stupid, you had a choice between two don'ts. Don't do it, or don't get caught.
Yeah, that's your two don'ts. Don't get caught. That's how I came up on my G.I. Joe action figures. Don't get caught.
No.
Don't get caught.
Don't get caught because the mama wasn't buying that shit. So, but I got a bunch of them. I wasn't getting caught. Small store. So
Oh
baseball
man,
was just in K. Art. Those your homeboys.
Yeah,
I
love those.
remember.
Are the real Japanese teams too. Now that I think about it.
Mhm. I mean, I grew up in the Middle East. First of all, I grew up in KSA, but
Yeah, what kind of
my
hobbies
dad
do
worked
people
in
have
the
in the Middle East?
well, most of them
Damn.
were into playing soccer. Mostly. We used to like there used to be like these fruit drinks we had called Sun Top. It's kind of like juice box. And I also remember that there was like Vimto had their own brand of that, and they had the Pink Panther on it. And anytime you got one of those boxes, you took out a juice box. On the side there was a sticker. Now, if you bought a whole
Nice.
case of them, now hold on. If you bought a whole case of them, there was always a booklet, and in that booklet is where you can collect all the stickers and place them in. And if you completed one, you have to go to your local well, you guys might have a call bodega. We have what we call it a bagala. That's a corner store, and we had to
Okay.
go there. Okay, so if you had a sun top up one and you completed that box, if you had a booklet with all the stickers, you could turn it in and get like some prizes or whatnot from them.
Oh, that was actually sounds
But
pretty cool. That sounds pretty.
yeah, we should collect stickers like that but some of those booklets had like stickers where they were like educational stuff. Like they're like one edition would be sports and everything. You collect those sports, and when you put that sticker then about that particular sport, it would tell you like certain facts that you wouldn't have not known until like later on in life. There was one for science. But Suntop also had another that they had like spin-off versions of Juice Box called Sun Fun and Sun Cola, and they had their separate booklets for stickers and such. I mean, we were doing that as kids. Everything we were like trading stickers and everything. What else were we doing? Because I know Vimto did the same thing. Only thing was they had the Pink Panther as their mascot.
I think somebody did that over here in the States. I'm trying to. I think it was for like Carmen San Diego, if I'm not mistaken, and I think it was High C. They didn't always do it, but they did it like here and there. They would just have like Carmen San Diego stuff.
Yeah, that sounds like it. That sounds like it because also when it came to anime, of course, if you're watching anime on state-run TV, they always dubbed it in Arabic. But the most popular anime, but they had to also change the character's name. So
yeah,
the anime we were mostly like was like Captain Tsubasa. That's a soccer one, but they had to change the names and everything. So, but we were allowed to watch those. They had like they had booklets where you had to collect stickers and such for them. There was also was it One Punch, I think.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of anime. There was also a Finnish animated series I remember from the 70s called The Moomin. They used to show
wait,
that.
anime or cartoon? Because I know like some of them be kind of
animated cartoon.
okay.
Animated means there was a Finnish one called The Moomin, but they dubbed that in Arabic. But I also remember watching that in English as well. And it's from Finland originally. Coming to Norway, I remember like meeting other people, and then when they talked about like certain animated series, and I'm like, "What is it? Describe it for me." Oh, you mean this and that? Because when they tell me they used to watch a certain animated series, I'm like, then when I realize what they're talking about, I'm like, oh, it's because I know it by English. And like, why you call it that? Because that's what it is. For example, Winnie the Pooh, they call it Olabom or something like that.
Wait, what?
I have no idea what you're talking about, man.
It's a weird name the Scandinavians have for like Winnie the Pooh.
All right, so what does that have to do with hobbies?
No, I'm sorry. Because, I'm digressing, but I'm just like talking about hobbies and anime series to watch and everybody. But they're all back and forth with me. I'm drifting. It's early in the morning. Hey, what the fuck?
So this is a hobby that me and Dr. Tia-san have. This is what
Oh man!
Right after Art get finished buying all the statues that they ever make, from Sideshow. He's gonna move on to buying swords. Now, if you ever watch Dr. Tiasan's show, I call Dr. Tiasan the sword master because he has more swords than I do, and he always upgrade. And I'd be pissed off every time I see something new on his wall. Like, you got that one too.
Is that the Zamzu sword from Naruto?
Yes, it is. That's the Zambu.
Ooh, boy.
Yeah.
Sexy. My God.
Yeah. So that's an older geek collection hobby is buying these fucking swords and stuff like that.
Yeah. Some animated series that customized.
It doesn't be very comfortable. I always like swordcraft, and I think I got into that. Like Art was talking earlier about the Forged in Fire. I got into really enjoying and liking the style of design of swords when I was young, watching, Excalibur and stuff like that. I really like the way swords are made and how they look, and they're always different, and they always have a function for what they're doing. Even this blade has a function for the hole in the arch in it, right, and its size. So it's always, deceptive, but you get when you're a kid, you don't have the money to buy these because the buy-in on a sword is usually like $100 and up, right?
Yep.
But you get older and you get some disposable income, like, oh, Conan sword, $200, give me that shit. That ain't nothing.
Yeah. I mean, y'all heard how much I spent today on comic books?
Yeah, $250.
How much?
$250.
Damn.
Wait, was that what
he was showing out at the comic store, boy?
I was paying off a part of my railway, got some old school Silver Age comic books, got a couple of variants.
Solid.
Yeah, see, $250. You could have bought this and had some change.
Yeah. Funny that you bring up the I remember seeing a couple of YouTube channels where you got people who are actual blacksmiths, and as a side, and on their channels they just like create like recreations of animated swords and whatnot.
Yep.
Or some of them like
a good place for that too. There's people who do it.
I mean, if I was gonna buy an anime weapon, I would probably buy what's that dude's name? Van Helsing, his guns.
Yeah, Helsing's.
Yeah, Helsing gun. Yeah, I thought his guns is dope. Or Gungrave. His guns.
They actually the Cerberuses, they make those in airsoft. They make those.
Wait, what? For real?
Yeah. Ever since that show came out, I remember seeing it. The guy had those Cerberuses made, and they shot airsoft bullets.
Oh my God, that's fucking tough.
Load the clip.
That's tough.
And everything. I'm like, what the fuck? I wasn't even in the airsoft, but I wanted a couple of those.
Nah, you can't hit nobody with even the airsoft. I think it'll fuck somebody bad.
No,
That's fucking gun,
that's the whole point of it. Is that it's just like foam pellets, right? But everything else, the action and everything else on the gun is accurate because in Japanese culture they're not allowed to have weapons and shit like that. So what they do is they pour all that intellect into making really accurate replicas. So that's why a lot of airsoft doesn't get imported here. My buddy Ron, R.P. to him, who used to be a customs officer, they would stop this stuff from coming in the country all the time. And one of the things he said they stopped was an old school Predator Gatling gun.
What?
Airsoft.
Yo.
I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? He said, man, we were in the warehouse shooting that shit all over the place.
I bet they were shit.
Yo, having the fucking time of their life. Oh my God, bro.
That
Wait,
you said he collects swords, right? Yeah. Has he ever collected actual swords, Dr. T? Like, samurai swords or Scottish claymores and such like that?
Yes, I have my swords. I have mostly martial arts swords, the Blade Daywalker sword, and then some smaller stuff because I like knives. I like knives and blades. So I have a lot of that stuff around.
That's cool.
I have my homeboy help
me. Have you watched that?
That's what he said. Don't help this nigga move because everything will cut you or shoot you. All right, so this is
in the case of the Blade sword, you remember that safety mechanism that Blade had on his sword?
Yeah, it's not on the replicas. They don't have that one. At least the one I have, it doesn't have that on there. But if I did find one that had that, it wouldn't be what I paid for the one I actually have. It'd probably be more. It'd probably be up in the $600 range.
Well, so it was this set, Artisan, but airsoft form.
You probably looking at the same page I was looking at. Yep.
Uh,
It was that.
Oh, that's the guy that builds Big Cat from Predator. That's
Yeah,
the guy
mini
that
gun.
builds.
A little
I'm
mini
gonna
gun.
have me some fun. I'm gonna have me some fun. I'm gonna have me some
Mini
fun.
gun.
One of my boys, he said he got hit with that. He said he was playing he was doing paintball and he went to Pennsylvania. And he said they had like a little they had like a special round or whatever, like a special kind of match. And so it's like you gotta try to like either eliminate the team yourself before the Juggernaut come out, and the Juggernaut would use that.
Juggernaut.
Yeah, I was like, what? He was like, yeah, he was like, I got fucked up. He was like, man, my boy got fucked up with it. He said that thing is no joke when it hits you. I was like, damn. He's like, good thing I had my gear on. I was like, damn.
This is one. My bad. I thought this was the one I was looking for. It wasn't. My bad.
Bill Duke with the Galley gun. I remember it like does anybody still collect video games by any chance?
Yeah.
I mean, I play them. I don't really collect them. I ain't like I'd be like, let me put this in the. But I never sell my games though.
Nah, I still have every single game that I've ever owned. Never got rid of it.
I sold a lot of them. The only one I'm thinking about sometimes is Legend of Cage on Nintendo. There you go. There's the Airsoft Gun Grave gun. The Cerberus.
Woo! Oh my god. Oh my god.
It's got a cross on it. I gotta say it. That's a Catholic cross, by the way.
Yeah, it's a cross. It's a cross. What's his name was into that shit, and that's why he put crosses on all his stuff. Hold on.
Who?
Just skip
the artist.
John Constantine.
John Constantine?
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
Look at that thing, boy. Oh my.
Actual size. They scaled it to the right size. It has the whole action and everything. I was like,
yo, that's oh my god, bro.
He's got to support his wrist. Look how he's holding his hand.
Yeah,
so
you big. Got, bro, because it's almost huge. Like if you had a gun and the shotgun had a baby. That's why I was like, that shit is sexy, bro. Like,
if a gun and a shotgun,
and a revolver
had a baby.
Double barrel turned on edge, basically.
Bro, if they had a weapon, bro, anybody got hit, it's over. You got hit with that. You know how the enemies they be having a hole, it'd be over, bro. They don't even have to bother stitch you up. It's over.
I mean,
the handgun got to bend the shotgun over like.
If you actually had to fire something like that, you'd have to have wrist strength and shoulder position to.
You definitely got to wrap this shit up. Yeah, because the force itself.
That thing would go flying all over the place. It would be hard.
Bro, it's dislocating your shoulder, bro.
not that bad.
Your wrist while you're at it.
If you had to hit like a direct target, like a heart or eye.
You just gotta aim for like.
No, you just gotta aim, bro. You even gotta aim.
Hold it steady and aim for the middle. Let's go hit something.
Yeah.
Bro, it's like a Desert Eagle on steroids, bro. Like it's over, bro.
Someone like Hellboy, it makes sense for them to have a gun like that, but like
because
everyone else is just.
But y'all don't know about no Brandon Heat? Come on, man.
What was it? I remember there was a video game, Siphon Filter. Anybody remember playing that?
Oh yeah. I never could beat the ending though, but I had a good time getting up to it though. It was fun though.
I got two younger brothers, and when we got our first PlayStation,
because that boss, bro.
Yeah, the youngest was still too young to play it. So what he would do is he would just watch while the older one would play it. I'm the oldest of four. The middle one would just play for on behalf of the youngest one, right? And I remember there was a one gun in there called the Falcon. It was a handgun. When we look, I remember we would go on, and so we would end up going to the cyber cafe to look up the list of weapons and see how powerful that was. And the Falcon was a beast. You shoot you shoot an NPC with that guy would be flying back because it had a powerful punch on it for a handgun because those are Israeli made and shit. They know how to pack a punch.
Damn, see it's been such a long time since I played the game, and then I'm not gonna hold you. Most of the time when I play shooters, my main gun is like the assault rifle. It's literally the assault rifle and the handgun. Those are my two weapons: assault rifle, handguns. And once in the blue moon, I'll use like a shotgun, and I'm trash with a fucking sniper. Well, I'm not. I'm decent with a sniper. I'm not like a real sniper. I'm just decent with it.
Dude, that's the
So
one you're supposed to be the most accurate with, not trash.
It was real.
So this is me if I pass an arcade and I find like Area 51.
Who remembers playing? Who remembers taking part? Who remembers playing Area 51?
Wow. That's my anime, bro. That shit was good.
This is me playing Area 51 or Time Crisis.
Right. It's like fuck all you guys.
Hey man, can I play? He'd be like, "Fuck off!" Like, damn.
What was the House of the Dead?
Look, I've made people upset because I've come in and played on the machine, and then little kids is in there, younger teenagers are in there, and they'll watch me put quarters in both sides. Like I'll spend like $2-3. I'll put quarters in both sides and pick up both guns and just stand in the middle and just start.
Bro, that's what the dude was doing. Bro, when we took my son and my brother out to Dave and Buster's for their birthday, bro, it was a dude doing. He was playing the he played the game until it broke, so it literally crashed. He was like, "Fuck." And then it was over. Because I saw he put the quarters down. He's over there, had two guns in his hand, like boom, boom. But I was like, yeah, let me come back. He's definitely doing a solo. It's not a co-op. That's definitely a solo. Let me just come back when he's done.
Play both sides? How you gonna play both sides?
No, he didn't break. It was just messing up. Like some games was just messing up. But yeah, he took both sides, bro. Because I forgot which one. It was one of them House of the Dead games.
How old was the arcade booth, first of all?
No, it was new. It was the new stuff. It was like the new stuff.
How often do they do maintenance on that shit? You know, sometimes it doesn't crash and shit.
You said what?
How often do you think people do maintenance on these arcades so then crash? They don't crash.
I don't. It just depends. Like the old arcade ones, like what I noticed, they don't really crash, or like when I be around, they don't crash. But I know like the new arcade ones, they kind of be crashing. So like they be like maintenance, and then the maintenance come in. Well, whenever the maintenance get there, they fix it up and shit like that.
Yeah, if you have a store where it's always open like that, it's gonna crash a lot. You're gonna have maintenance coming in and fixing it a lot. My uncle used to work at a vending machine company, so they did video games and candy machines and all that kind of shit, right? And places where they had a lot of games, he was always going back there regularly. They'd have a regular like contract with them to come fix that shit because it just
is good, huh?
I wonder if they have a BB gun league where I'm at, or like a airsoft league, or airsoft league where I'm at. You know, like they do like you know how you go into like
you're taking part in.
Well, you know, not airsoft. I mean paintball, a paintball league. You know how the paintball league.
They should.
Yeah, they
when
should.
You said they should. Yeah, because I know it's like either because I'm not mistaken, it's North Carolina, it's Pennsylvania. I'm trying to think all the ones on the East Coast. North Carolina, Pennsylvania. I think they got one in New York, but I think it's seasonal. It's like only like during a certain time. It's not like
around this time. Usually paintball is around springtime when the weather is good. You can start getting out there.
Yeah, they do. I found it. Carolina's
Right
Premier X-Ball League.
You should do that. They got one.
Because I know like the South when they be doing like the history ones, like when they be like doing like it's not paintball, but they be doing some kind of
reenactments.
Yeah.
Fucked up. I just want to go shoot
people. I just want to shoot somebody. That's all. Got you, bitch.
Nah, but that shit mad expensive. I can never do that shit. Just because you got to rent out them old ass clothes and all that other shit, bro. That's
hell no. Don't go for that. Like that shit is cheap.
They don't rent it out. Some of them, they actually, who are really the guys who take part in them, they actually just they stitch them themselves. They fix up the costumes themselves because they organize among themselves to do it. So
if you're doing reenactments and stuff like that, but if you're just going out to do paintball is cheap, especially if you bought your own paintball gun. The rest of the stuff you buy is just the balls and shit like that. That's cheap.
Balls are cheap.
miles are cheap like that. You can get out there and have a good time with like $40.
What am I?
Yeah, my brother, he thinking about getting one. My brother, he thinking about getting one. They was trying.
Called the
What am I
Paintball
doing?
Jungle, and it's a big eucalyptus forest, and it's open year round. So rain or shine, they open. Right?
Watch
They
out for the
were
koalas.
started by an old military vet, right? So it's a bunch of trees, a bunch of obstacles and stuff like that, right out in the little woods and stuff. So you can get out there any day of the week and get out there and just start bucking people. You had an open free for all during spring and stuff. They have the seasonal league things that they have, and they have their own team that play the Killer Bees. And they be out there just
damn.
Yeah, see, that's my problem. I have too many fucking hobbies. I'm into too much stuff, and I don't have fucking time to do a lot of shit.
Shit, I don't think you run out.
I have a question for everybody. Since you brought up paintball, how many of you guys are familiar with laser tag, where they use like?
I love laser tag. I like that too.
Yeah,
you were laser tag.
Yeah, because I remember was it like one of my dudes up in Toronto. He told me like what happened was like told me a story of like how he went to one of those places and then just got kind of wild because like they were getting their asses beat by this one girl who was really into it.
Yeah, too bad.
To find out
get better.
Get better. A white girl too. And
I'm happy my dad he brought it for us for Christmas. We used to just hide behind the cars and shit in the hood, just be sitting there like running around.
No. What I'm talking about, they have like a place for we can go to. They have a designated place for laser tag and such.
Yeah, no, we did that too though. We did that too though. We would either like I said, if we didn't go to did we just play it at home or whatever? But we do both. We go to like that.
Yeah, last time I played laser tag, we did it for a team building exercise for my company, the company I was working for. So all the supervisors went, and then one of the things we did, we all played laser tag. And I was like, nice. Oh, good. I could shoot my fucking district manager. Oh my god! Because we were limited on what they could do because they didn't want us to get hurt. I suggested paintball just so I can really get a bean.
Yeah, he was gonna really tag his ass up.
Nah, because if somebody fall or get hit, it could be a lawsuit. So they didn't do the paintball, but they did the laser tag. And I said, "I'll go fuck. I'm about to snipe this thing. Like, you about to get
pop."
Where's it coming from? Fuck.
He was getting
you only got one bar left. Fuck.
Yeah, because he was competitive too. I was like, good. That's gonna be even sweeter.
Oh yeah, that definitely
he was sweet. He don't like to lose.
He was competitive too. He's like, yeah.
He was competitive. He don't like to lose. Bad sport.
So, what dish was you serving with that revenge? What dish was it? Was it apple pie?
I was running through there because where we played. It was a place like Dave and Buster's, but they called it something else out, Epic Center or something like that. I think that's what they called it out here. And it was in a richer area, so it was really big. So you went into a whole nother part of this facility to do the laser tag. So it's kind of dark, kind of got neon light and stuff like that in there. So it's some place you can dip down and hide and stuff like that. I was in there looking like the Cheshire Cat with a sniper rifle. I was creeping. I was looking around the corner, down low where they can't see because they looking up high like, bow, got you.
Oh, shit.
Oh, my God. I was getting my dark thrills.
You were sneaky.
Oh, man. Look.
And you were cheating so much. No wonder so many people are lactose intolerant.
Man, here we go.
Oh, shit.
Here we go. I had fun doing it though. I did take pleasure in getting this ass though. So.
Oh, we had a place like that. It was called over where I stay at. It was called Funko Land. That's what it was called. It was called Funko Land.
Yeah, I remember Funko Land.
Oh, okay. Y'all had it. Were you use that too? Where you stayed at?
Yeah, I remember it being in our area.
Oh, sweet. Because they had like that little arcade spot, and then like you said, if you want to do like the outdoor stuff or the other stuff when you playing around, they had a whole other section for that. That used to be the shit. They just closed it down like a couple of years ago, though. I think it was like, I want to say like 8 years ago, because one of my cousins, she was like the last person to like kind of work there, and then they just shut it down. I was like, yeah, I had a bunch of hobbies. Yeah, like I used to love going outside skating. Me and my boys, we will always either be playing basketball, football, volleyball, baseball.
Damn,
just doing like everything.
I didn't think they made kids like you anymore. What? How old are you? They still make kids that play outside?
I'm 35. That's why. So I'm in last.
Okay, you still a millennial.
Yeah,
Okay,
he's the last of the Mohicans.
Yeah, last generation of kids that have this kind of coordination, huh?
He was like, "What the fuck is that?"
Yeah, you're an 87 baby. Is that it?
Yeah, 87. Yep, 87.
What month?
November.
Of course. I was about to say November. He's a Scorpio. I get Scorpio energy off of him.
That's another movie that has male emotional labor.
My own.
He's 4 years from your brother, there's Junior, yo. He's 83 November. He's a Scorpio like yourself.
Who is?
Yeah. My younger brother.
Oh, nice.
I got 83 though.
Nice.
November 83.
Nah, it's the weirdest things. Most Scorpios, like for the most part, we usually all really fuck with each other. It's rare for like Scorpios to not really like fuck with each other.
Because it depends on the time.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. In my family, like my mom's got 4 kids, including myself, and she's got 1 daughter. But the boys, we were all born in the fall, so I'm the oldest. I'm my younger brother's no, with my sister, she could whoop ass. Trust me. My mom sometimes jokes that she has 3.5 sons and half a daughter. So
damn.
No, I'm saying why you guys, all the boys are fall babies.
Yeah.
You know why?
Actually,
right?
Why?
Because that's
why
around Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day, yeah. That's why Scorpios are the most. Yeah, in the horoscope. Yeah, literally Valentine's Day.
Well, actually, that not really, not in my case. Not in the case of me.
Fall babies are all usually conceived around the
Valentine's Day,
January, February.
Yeah. No, in my case it was New Year's. In my case, it was New Year's.
New Year's, okay. The early part of getting a little festive.
December, early January.
They was banging in the New Year. What's
really bringing in the New Year, yeah.
Hey, if you're gonna do it right.
We need a baby New Year, honey. We need a baby New Year.
Fireworks ain't the only thing going on around here.
Hey.
That remind me of Pops. Bang, bang, bang.
Oh, now I'm having flashbacks of when I was a sperm cell all of a sudden.
Oh my god! Yeah, I told my son before. It's like the birthday the same month as mine. Why? Because it was out of love. It was love. I really loved your mom at that moment.
Oh.
What? I mean, like it's like I was born in the beginning of September. But the youngest was at the end of September, so and he's a Libra, but the brother between us, he was born in November. So he was considered, huh?
I said, yeah.
Now he was celebrating. He was like the Scorpio.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because you got a Scorpio, a Libra, and a Virgo, all boys.
Yeah, it was.
The girl's a Gemini. That scares the hell out of us.
Yeah, because that's that opposite. Gemini will scare you.
Gemini will scare you. We have a best friend who's also a Gemini. They're like, she and him are like 3 days apart. No, 3-4 days apart, I guess, from birthday.
My son's a Gemini.
Oh, snap, for real? That's
Well, my son's a Gemini. Well, most of my sons are Gemini, I suppose. I'm a Cancer.
No. You're a Cancer? No wonder you're crabby.
I'm a Cancer, yeah.
Yeah, you crabby as hell. You crabby as hell.
Hey, yo.
I'm not gonna lie. Think about it. Y'all see me. I said we are sensitive and we like that.
Oh, that's
but I
judge.
said, remember, like I said, you bring that bad fact. I am a Cancer. I said there's righteousness, but
I didn't realize
you see, y'all see these
more than one way, folks. I mean, he's such an asshole.
If he fucks me over, I snap quick. The other claw works well.
But he leaves you all kinds of. He leaves you with a bad memory, just like Cancer itself. He's such an asshole. He's worse than colorectal cancer.
Damn.
Wow.
It's the truth.
Judge,
Like I said,
so the topic is hobbies. So what are your hobbies, Judge?
you already know my
Other
hobbies.
than making babies.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I like working on houses. Like, just give an example. Y'all to be surprised. I just left the house. I just left the house. The reason I don't know why I came home. I thought about spending the night over there. But y'all will see over there this week.
I can tell you.
Y'all probably see me.
Too easy.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. There's something about. It's something about. Like, to me, that's my It's therapy to me. I'm not gonna lie. It's like something about. Like, I remember, like, I was working at this building downtown. It's called a City Club. It was a pretty famous building downtown then, but building getting close to like the 100-year mark. And I used to, wait a minute, this area right here, and that's a crawl space in this building. Let me go in there. And they're like, I ain't going in there. I'm like, oh yeah, let me go in. I was like, you realize ain't nobody probably been in here since this building was built.
Yep.
I told her, I said, nobody, because like nobody's going down in there unless it's a pipe that's right, because the building get old, so you got certain rooms that the water don't drain out of and all that crap. And I'm like, dude, I'm going. He's like, I'm not going there. Like, I'm not going. Oh man, I'm going in here. You got to pull up these big old steel plates in the floor. And I'm like, you realize that there's probably nobody been in here since like this building was built. And they looking at me like, I'm fascinated by it. They're like, aim. But I'm like, you feel a connection with the old timers. Yep. I'm like, can you imagine when they were building these buildings back when they didn't have, like, when they had the iron workers, and they were throwing the damn, the ingots to them, and they were catching them and throwing them in they was up there on 6-inch beams with no damn rope.
Actual rivets, hot rivets.
I said, then on top of that, I said, then one of the things that you say, these motherfuckers up on 6-inch beams, throwing hot biscuits at each other and shit, and rivets at each other. And I said, but at least them niggas can come home to a nice home cooked meal and a thank you.
Yeah, exactly. A good home cooked meal, and she make you a sandwich in the morning for lunch. Like, goddamn.
Oh hell! Well, so bad is like literally, if you go back and look at the pictures, because a lot of these old buildings got pictures, and they show the people sitting up there, and you can tell by their lunches that they had women at home. I said, like, notice, like they recreated a picture back in the steel workers days, and they showed this building was built like this, and they recreated a picture, and you can tell, like, look at all them look at the lunch boxes they sitting up there. You can tell that they had a woman at home cooked them a nice good little meal.
And I told being a blue collar worker mattered.
Like my history of old buildings and stuff like that. The judge like me, he into construction and working with his hands and working on old buildings and actually trying to bring them back in some sense. So I get into that part too. Like, my favorite building I worked on was it was about 100-year-old building in Richmond, in the older part of Richmond, and it was like the first bank of Richmond. I did the remodel in there. I love that damn building. Like, it had the old big ass safe in there, like it looked like part of a house. That was the safe for the bank and stuff.
That's 5 safe. The one they
just
dragged
give
down
an
the street.
example. I was working at the Superior Building downtown in Cleveland. Like I said, if you walk into the Superior Building downtown in Cleveland, like especially now because they didn't put stores down there. If you look at those stores on the first floor, I did the walls and put the drywall up there. So if y'all want to see if you build downtown the bed, and that's where the chick who wanted to date me, and I wouldn't, I don't shit where I eat. After she was like, I remember she was always trying to be my friend, and I said, and let her know too much about her. I said, my thing was, after she got mad at me, then she did whatever she could to get me fired, and she the one that got me fired. It was like, well, okay, well, fine. I'm not trying to talk to you. So it was just saying I would come to work and I wouldn't say nothing to nobody for like the last 4 weeks. And it was like they kept constantly just doing whatever they could to try to get me fired. But I know why. She had her best friend was gay, and our manager for Cleveland was his boyfriend. So because it's 2 gay men. So you already know once you piss off those people, they all in it together. And it's just like, and I'm like, wait a minute, how could I go from being the best worker that you guys ever had to now being I'm horrible? Oh, we got to get rid of this dude. Well, why? They don't like him. Well, all he does is come in and go to work. You know, I'm normally working by myself anyway. So and y'all not speaking to me at work, and that don't mean nothing. I come in and go right to my room when I'm assigned.
That's
Do
the
my thing. I don't
problem.
have to.
We want you to be social, but you just actually come in and do what you're supposed to do.
Well,
that's
That's
part
the
of
joke
the
of
game.
society, bro.
Yeah.
That's part of the game
Well, I
that
told
you
him.
have to actually be a little social with those folks.
Yep.
But
They
this is
get
the problem.
bad.
Listen. I'm paid. I'm not paid. Look, this is the problem. I don't want to be social with them because this is what they were doing. They were stealing company time from EV Bishop. Basically, what they would do is they put phones in the building, and you know we got that thing where you clock in on your phone. So just like I saved, like literally, I saved EV Bishop from. If you notice, I'm saying the name. I don't work there. I saved them from like $4 million in damage one time because there was a pipe that bust, and I was the one that stopped it. Now they come in. I remember the guy Mr. Bishop flew to Cleveland to meet me personally, and that's what he's like. Oh yeah, we got plans for you. We got I already knew what's going to happen. They were going to make me city manager, so I already knew because the gay guy was retiring. He was going to be. He's matter of fact supposed to retire this year. So I knew and they was like, we got big plans for you. Just stay around. And I'm like, I already know. But I didn't tell them. I was thinking in my head, I don't want to do no management job. I don't want no paperwork. I'd rather do people. You don't have to worry about me taking your job as manager. Why is that? Because it's paperwork. I don't want to do paperwork. I told people. I used to tell them all the time. Right. I told them, I'm not taking your job. Right.
You don't want to. You just love to do the manual shit. Right. You don't want to.
I don't want. Like I told them. Right. I told people I don't like why because I can just fill out reports and do. I don't want to do that shit. Like literally, I told them if I was ever the manager, you'd have to hire my girlfriend or something. I'm like, why is that? Because my girlfriend, y'all can tell her I can work and all that bullshit, but you can pay my girlfriend. She'll do the paperwork. I don't even do the paperwork for my own business. Let alone, you understand what I'm saying?
Go ahead, Artisan, because he was trying to get in.
No, that wasn't me. That was somebody else was saying that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I pay work for my own, but it's ridiculous.
So working on houses, that's the only thing. That's the only hobby you have. You don't have multiple hobbies.
I just like to build it. I mean, I ain't gonna lie.
Well, I'll give Dre a lot of credit that working on houses, especially in that area, there's a lot of stick-built houses that are probably like 50, 60 years old. You could do a lot to do updates.
Like my house is my house built in like 1914.
Yeah. There's a bunch of shit. Those big ones on Lake. Is it Lake Michigan or Lake Erie?
No, I'm in Cleveland, Ohio.
So Lake Erie, yeah. There's a bunch of those big ass. Man, you got houses that are there from like some guy who owned like a glass manufacturing company from like 1920, and they'll just have like a mansion. Like there's crazy stuff out there from like the Phillips, what do you call it, Johnson & Johnson. Just there's a lot of money out there. Yeah, there's like plaster.
We got houses
from, like,
on 105. That's a historical house. Got a lot of historical houses, and I tell people all the time. That's one of the things that nice thing they're doing too with a lot of our buildings downtown. And like they've converted some of them to houses, and like you can see, and the reason why I sit here and laugh is because you can see they've converted these places to houses and all like that, and like you might be paying $1,600-$1,700 a month, but like when you walk through the hallways, you can tell the floor's been refinished, but they ain't level. You know, like it's works in the floor because these were old buildings and they've just redone them.
Yeah,
and I sit there and laugh because
usually when they get those permits to do that renovation, they have to keep a certain amount of it just the way it is. That they can upgrade it, but they can't change a lot of that stuff. So that's why you'll still come in there and have the unlevel floor, but because it has the original mosaic tile, you got to keep it that way.
Like literally, you can. Well, just give an example. I worked at the City Club. It's a building next to the City Club. I can't remember what the name of that building was. It's on East Nice and Euclid. But basically what happened is they were renovating that building. And when they took off, they had put like a real facade over this building. And when they start taking the facade, when they start to renovate it, they realized that the interior under it, because they just covered it to make it modern, was actually in pristine condition. So instead of them little change hands on the building. So if you ever go look downtown at Building City Club, because the facade underneath it was beautiful, and they made it back to where the building looked before back in the day. And I mean, it's a beautiful looking building. I mean,
yeah, that was
when
my.
you look at it, it looked like somebody just like pulled the building out of 1940 and just put it there. Because it's all nice, and you know what I mean.
Yeah, my favorite movie theater in El Cerrito near the comic shop. That's what it was. They went into that building and they were going to turn it into a theater, and it turned out it was actually an old theater in there, and the original theater was still in there with all the cornices and moldings and stuff like that. So they just built another theater on top of it, and then renovated the one down there.
Yeah,
made it a historical place for the city. So the city owns it now, but that original theater, they just upgraded it and then built the other one on top of it. I'm like, shit, that was a good fun.
For hobbies, is anybody do combat sports by any chance or martial arts?
Yes, a little bit, not as much as I wanted to because my mother didn't want to pay all that money.
Yeah, but, I like playing basketball. I just haven't played basketball in a while because there's her. I don't really have friends to play with because most of them are just into gaming and they don't want to do anything physical activities.
Damn.
When them jelly boys.
Yeah, so I really have to go like find a league or something.
Yeah, I just found out that my coworker, he plays basketball every Saturday at work because I have a basketball in my van and I'm by a bunch of basketball courts in the community that I work in. So I'll stop on lunch and start shooting baskets. And I had a resident asking me what she saw in my van. I'm like, what's the basketball for? What do you work on with the basketball? I said, my shot. What the fuck you doing? She's looking at all my tools. Like, what do you work on with that? I'm like, shit, my shot.
Right, no. I guess a lot of people don't realize that you, as black men, you're not allowed to have no habits and no hobbies or anything like that.
You're not supposed to like anything.
Fuck them.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm trying because I'm trying to myself. I'm trying to get back into like some martial art classes because I used to do like when I was young. I did karate for a little bit until I had like broke my ankle doing some stupid shit. So I just never went back to it. But I really enjoyed it. And I enjoy karate and boxing, so I might pick up one of those two and play basketball.
Just like there's also like whatchamacallit, like a kickboxing academy or something like that.
Oh yeah, I might do that. Yeah, I prefer the kickboxing over the Muay Thai because the that conditioning that they do for Muay Thai, I don't want that.
If you're American and you want to do Muay Thai, you might as well do it here because you ain't going to Thailand to do that shit.
Oh hell no! They start that shit.
You a rare breed. You go to Thailand and actually get some legit Muay Thai training like that. You might as well just go ahead and do it here.
They started damn 3 years old.
Yeah, exactly. He started 3 years old working on this tree.
They've been kicking we kick banana trees here. So, that's too Filipino. We kick banana trees here and they come hard. Oh, I still sound Filipino. Shit, I can't do the Thai accent.
You gotta put an ah in it. There's an ah in it. We kicked the banana.
They conditioning ain't no joke, bro. Be taking the little baseball bat. You gotta kick. I ain't trying. Look, man. I'm just trying to do the little techniques.
That's how they do it. You gotta kick banana trees. That's how they do it. I mean, who was it? I remember there was like there was a MMA game they had back in 2000. No, in 2010 that came out. It was by EA. It was called EA Sports MMA. It was supposed to rival the THQ's UFC game.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, it was a pretty good game.
He's a collector.
It was a pretty cool game. But it's a damn shame
Shout out to Egon Spangler.
What?
Aquatechy. He says I collect spores, molds, and fungus.
It
was good, Techie. That was a good one.
There's no shame in that because collecting spores, fungi, and stuff like that. There's actually people, because I remember watching a documentary about the importance that fungi and spores have in the ecosystem and such.
Yeah, they're important, but I don't like collecting anything that's actually bad if it's by itself. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, yeah, this is bad by itself. It could actually kill you. Let's put a lot of these together in the same place. Like, no.
What?
Let's
Nah, I'm good. Yeah, I got too much living I gotta do. Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah. Get the way of them life plans I have.
Does it remind you of The Last of Us? Because that's what's going on?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that makes sense.
Sounds like a Last of Us.
Look, I ain't mad at you for the hobby, but I'm just like, I ain't joining you with that shit. Enjoy yourself.
Yeah, you got some people who are into horticulture. That's they're into gardening and such.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I mean, a friend of my wife, she turned that little gardening hobby into a whole business. She
nice.
She has her home plant nursery, sells her own plants. And it's just usually California natives and stuff like that. But it was just some shit she used to do in her backyard. That's like actually $1 million business, probably more than that now. And she lived right in a regular neighborhood with regular people. Like, you would never know it. Like, what? Get the fuck out of here. It was like,
I remember, a friend of mine? No, a friend of my brother's. His mom has a florist business, and I remember, like, my mother bought a lot of plants from her when we got our home, and a lot of flower pots and whatnot. And they look pretty cool. So yeah, there's a lot of people who have like a green thumb and stuff, and plus the moms got together and started talking about what's the best they were just like talking about, like, they were chopping up, just talking about plants and this, that, and the third. Because both of them have green thumbs and shit. Well, actually, in my case, my mom does a whole.
At least to me, plants are therapy like watering your grass. They are. Because, believe it or not, I don't have plants like my mother used to have plants in the house. Most I've had is cactus, because I don't want to pay that much damn attention to it. But when that damn cactus died after I had it a couple of years, my feelings was fucking hurt. I lost cotton and candy, man, and I was upset about that shit. Like, man, I lost my goddamn cactus. My cactus died. What the fuck? Like, I was distraught, my nigga.
Damn.
My cactus started leaning over. I was like, what's wrong with it?
Like, nigga ain't giving no water. What you think?
It's a cactus. I think somebody overwatered it. I think that's why.
Shit.
Overwatered.
Can you overwater a cactus?
Yeah.
You can.
You can kill yourself with too much water. Like,
I know.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. You can kill yourself with too much water.
So yeah, I think that's what happened to it. Either that or it got some kind of fungus or something like that I didn't see. But it
they can call them a rot. And I'm not, like I tell them all the time, I'm not a green thumb at all. Like, one of the things I've told the people when I took over my grandmother's house, I had all these plants. I'm like, I was telling the people, y'all better come get these plants. Like, literally, especially in the beginning, it was fine when my son was staying with me because he would water the plants. Mm-hmm. But after I put my son out, they better come. I remember a friend of mine, you see, that's the plant that was in your grandmother's house. I nursed it back there. I'm like, she called every once in a while. I'm like, go ahead. I was like, because these motherfuckers gonna be dead with me. I told him, I said, I treat them treat them all like this, and I said, I recommend that's how men should treat women too. They ain't deal with it. Hey man, they don't need no water. Too bad. Better water yourself.
That's what your attention is. Your attention is the water for her.
So they grow on their own accord.
Yep.
Right. You better hope you're on the back porch. Like I tell them all the time, you better hope you're on the back porch and I walk by and gotta pee. That's about it.
Damn.
Shit. But anyway, guys, it's getting late. I'm gonna go ahead and hang up. If anybody just say why our hobby is important to you, and they will close out.
Important to keep me a level head. It gives me something to do. I realize you don't have to worry about anything in life as long as you got a hobby.
I agree.
Want me to go next?
Yeah, go ahead, Griff.
I'll be last.
No, hobbies are good because I feel like they like enjoyment for like the soul. Because we have to work and fight everything all the goddamn time. So it's nice to just come home and just do some stuff to like kind of detox, and then you're learning at the same time while like having fun, not doing like stressful things or whatever like that. It could be therapeutic and help you discover yourself at the same time too. That's it.
Aquatech said hobbies keep me out of trouble.
Oh, that's
for
for damn
damn
sure.
Facts,
Damn.
Aquatech.
Jules.
Wait a minute. Oh, good. Sorry, go ahead, Jules.
Yeah,
Aquatech, he was like, if he wasn't doing Legos, he'd be game banging. Damn, that's crazy.
I didn't have these red and blue Legos, man. Yeah, I get it in with the homies.
I live a pretty regimented life, but most of that's towards producing something for making money, and that's fine, and that some of that can be hobby based stuff. But a lot of times I like to do stuff that I can get a little utility and get a little fun out of, and it's something that I can enjoy doing to kind of recreate myself, something I find pleasing that also produces something for myself. I've made like, candles. I've made, I brewed a lot of beer, a lot of beer. I've done a lot of stuff that
A lot of beer.
nothing wrong with it. It's like it's a big batch of tea that'll mess your brain up over time.
No shit.
You got to find something that'll just give you some time to enjoy doing something that is not just utility for someone else, but for yourself at the very least. And I think
Facts.
most people don't really have the time for it, but they should make half hour, and you can get a lot of enjoyment out of that. If that's just taking a walk and watching birds, or just watching stupid people trying to
That is one of my hobbies. People watching.
people watching it is a good hobby.
Facts. That's mine too. I ain't know.
It is, but figure out a way that you could take some time for yourself, that you could just enjoy what you want to do, not for someone else, not for some other purpose, but what do you want to do for yourself? Maybe someone else likes it. Thanks, Art, for having me up.
Yeah, no problem. Artist and MC.
Yeah, I would say you do so much. Just to piggyback on what Jules was saying, you do so much in your life for everyone else. The older you get, the more responsibilities you end up picking up, and the more you have to take time for other people. So it's important to actually cultivate something that you enjoy doing for yourself, because it is important for your own mental and emotional development to understand what it is that you like, especially as Black men. You have to actually hold on to and grasp what you like and stick to it. Like Art buying all the statues, y'all hear me teasing him at times about it, but I really admire that he actually sticks to that shit, because it's something that he likes. It's never a waste of money or time if it's something that you enjoy doing, and you have to cultivate that, because the society will try to drive that shit out of you. They'll try to make you just a robotic automaton that knows nothing but doing your job and doing for other people. Your hobby is what you do for yourself, and that makes you a better, well-rounded person, because then you have stuff that you can actually talk about with people other than what you doing at work. Well, they moving you up or what? Well, what about this? I'm like, dude, that's too much stressful stuff. It's too much that gets you away from finding out who you are as a person and what you actually enjoy doing. So that's, for me, that's why hobbies are important. It's the expression of myself that is not dependent on anybody else for me to enjoy it.
I love that.
Except if I find somebody who can play some goddamn Magic, then I'm really gonna be enjoying it.
Exactly.
Need somebody with that.
I know some people that play Magic.
Yeah, but other than that, appreciate you, Art. You know that. Thanks for doing the stream on Hobbies, because that was a good coming from work conversation, and got my little brain going. Now I'm going to jerk off my other hobby real quick and play this Division before I go to bed.
I be watching you play Gran Turismo here and there. I enjoy watching it.
That too. I got to do my daily. I got 30 miles I need to drive right now, so I need to get on there. So appreciate you, Art. Everybody up there.
Here's a thought. Sorry, but here's a thought. Since you're into Gran Turismo, Who want to take bets and see who would outrace who between Artisan MC and Mr. Z?
Oh, we already take bets. Me and Mr. Z race. Me and Mr. Z keep missing each other because his one off day is the one day that I'm usually late at work, which is Monday.
Damn, that's like me and my boys trying to play the game sometimes.
Yeah, I'm always trying to play Mr. Z. There's two people I always try to play with. I always try to play Mr. Z. Not play with. I didn't pause. I need to pause. I used to try to play Gran Turismo with Mr. Z because Mr. Z is better on corners than I am. I'll air his ass out on the straight. But on corners, he'll eat my ass up. So I always want to play him because I'm not good at corners. And that makes me get better on my game, right?
Nice.
That's why I want to play him. The other one is Artie Idmore because I tried to sell his ass on the Vision, and we played a couple of times, but he was still new. We ain't played in a while. I'm like, dude, I need a squad. I mean, I'm a pretty beast soloers, but I like a squad sometimes. Sometimes, you want somebody to cover your left.
Yeah, see, I got the other one. I got Division Part 2, but the problem is I got so many damn shooters on my goddamn game, it can't take no more. Cause I got I played the other one more better. The Ghost Recon.
Yeah, I played.
I got Part 2.
So that's what. That'd be my shit.
I'm gonna have to get that. It seemed like more people be on that one than the other one.
It is. I still got the seasons going.
And they still they just release a new season.
Yep. It just came out. New season just came out, and then there's some other Hearts of the something of the Heartland or something like that. Some new expansions that they put in there too, which is some different game modes, which looks really fun. And I think that dropped in June, first part of June. So yeah, it's a lot of stuff going on right now. So I had to log back in and try to downgrade my storage capacity a bit because I am a fucking weapons hoarder.
Well, they got it now for the PlayStation 5 where you can actually get like a external hard drive. You just have to move the games from the external hard drive.
You said that. You got me that 1 terabyte external hard drive a while ago. I just used it yesterday because I had to move Gran Turismo 5 off my PS5 so I can download the new update for Division 5.
See, that's what I'm saying, bro. The shooters, because like Fortnite, Call of Duty, Ghost, the memory on them shit speak. And then you got sports games too. Forget it. Your memory is
get a 4 terabyte.
Yeah, that goes into that video game hobby. Like, look, man, I got this goddamn system, but you keep making these games bigger than the fucking system. Look, I got 5 or 6 games on them, and they all big as. Like I just downloaded Gran Turismo 5 on there.
I was getting ready to say that Gran Turismo is the biggest offense.
Game, man. This is the same size as this game.
Bro, you have to have your own system for Grand Theft Auto. That's what I was getting ready to bring that up, bro. Granted, you have to have your own PlayStation. It can't be nothing on it, just Grand Theft Auto, bro. It's too fucking crazy.
Let me ask you a question.
What she said.
What type of hard drive you guys using for your storage?
This one is just a stock that I got. I don't think it's a terabyte. It's just a stock, whatever it was when I bought this thing. So
May I suggest you get I would suggest you try to get like one by Seagate because they have ones designed specific for PlayStation as well as ones for Xbox.
Yeah,
I got the one that's for PlayStation, not the PlayStation one, the other one. I got that because it came with a 2. Because I know the PlayStation one has the 4 off the rip, but the one I got was the 2, and then you're going to get the off-brand one for the 2.
No, they got the PS brand ones for both 4 and 2.
Go ahead, Artisan.
Oh, okay.
No, I was saying I just used the one that I have because Arte got me that external hard drive for my games, and I hadn't used it yet, and I needed something to put this fucking game on because I just downloaded it. I paid for it. I haven't played it yet. Like I'm not throwing it away, so I need to put it on something, and that's what I have. But I will get one for this PlayStation because I need to move some of these games off of here because I don't like having to re-download shit. That's the one thing I hate about modern gaming. Downloads and updates and I just want to play.
If you want it to just be on the system, what you have to do is you have to upgrade the SSD M.2 slot, and those are gonna be expensive.
Yeah, whatever.
You talking about at least about to get a 2 terabyte, you can probably do like maybe 150 to
Well, there's one
200.
at 4, isn't it?
That ain't bad. That ain't bad. I can drop 200 on it just if you bought the system, $200 should be like.
Yeah, he right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't really quibble about $200 when you just pay like $5-6 for the system. Like, okay, yeah, okay, I'll pay.
Check Western Digital. That's where you get the. That's where you get the. Check Western Digital's website. That's where you get all the info you need for.
Yeah, I'll just go.
Seagate, SanDisk, and everything.
Yep, I've been on PlayStation forever since my PS2. So I'm just going there and see if they want to offer me a deal, just like they offered me one for this PS5.
Anyway, I know everybody got to get to sleep, so I'm gonna just say this. Y'all just like everybody. Like I'll take like everybody said. We all need our hobbies because it's a reflection of who we are as individuals. Because we are human beings at the end of the day, and we all like what we want. If you're into culinary arts, have at it. If you're into bird watching or people watching, have at it. If you're into collecting stamps,
don't have at it.
Oh, also to make sure it's above 5,000 speed. Anything? Yeah, above 5,000.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Anyway, I'm out. Y'all have a good evening. Bye.
Later, man.
All right, later, guys. Appreciate you guys.
All right, later, fellas.
Yeah.
When's the next one you have coming up? I'll try to join it if I can.
Since I'm not gonna be able to be here Saturday because I got to close my store, I'm off Friday, so I'm gonna do a stream before Art Install stream. I'll probably start at like around about 5 or 6 my time.
Okay, I might be if I don't have to switch on Friday because I think I'm off. I'll try to come in, for a little, chop it up with the fellas and stuff like that.
No, that's all good.
Yep.
All
right, gentlemen, have a good night.
All right. Later, guys.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace.